for the once in like, I don't know, a week, I actually went live properly.
What do you mean properly?
Well, I was doing it all
You
wrong.
put on your best
I was like,
suit?
well, because I'm trying to do, I have to do the macros and stuff and like basically some housekeeping that I haven't done because I'm scrambling all over the place constantly.
Yeah.
And yeah,
You and
so
everybody else.
yeah, so I just, so right now I'm doing everything chronologically because I want to just open it with a fade so that it's not like, so that, for replays, because I didn't realize that
Not like a
I
record
was kind of
scratch?
punishing people with the replays, with the big popcorn opening. And I was like, I wasn't doing a real good job.
Yeah,
there.
whatever, man. We learn as we
So now I'm trying to like improve all that,
So you don't want to start with like a big abrupt record scratch? Car crash sound?
Right.
Maybe?
Right. Scientist and delicate are both here.
Sweet.
What day of the week is this?
This is Wednesday.
Are you sure?
Yep.
It feels like it's been 2 weeks.
I know. You know how sometimes something stressful and terrible will happen? I mean, like minorly terrible, where you're like, "Oh, that sort of thing used to really stress me out and ruin my day," but then it happens and it doesn't, and you're like, "Oh wow, I guess I'm getting better. Like the mental health is improving."
Yeah.
Today we got a certified letter in the mail, and both of us were like, "Oh God." What the fuck?
First of all, we make people feel awkward because we're COVID cautious. So the fucking mailman knocks on the door. And he's like, and he's holding up the letter, and I'm like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Certified mail." And I'm like,
"Oh, but you don't open the door. You're
no,
just looking through
I'm just
the
looking
little
through
window."
the glass, and I'm kind of shouting aloud between the glass. And he's like, "Do you want me to just sign for it? That'd be great. That'd be great. Put it in the mailbox."
Like you don't want to touch it. It's got cooties.
It feels awful. It's like the worst part of it. Like every time somebody
who
comes to
cares?
the door, we actually oddly in 2025 actually have people coming to our door. "Hi, I'm with Spectrum."
Unbelievable.
They got like a
I'm
badge.
offended every time.
Like,
When somebody knocks on the door, I'm like, "How dare you?"
I'm like, this is America. Absolutely nobody should open their door to anybody,
Yeah, right,
especially
that's-
somebody trying to carry a credential around their
I
neck.
know, that's why I don't think it's such a big deal. There's a lot of people that do like door-to-door scams, and then there's a ton of stories in the news, like however overblown they are because people are horrified by it, but like home invasion scams and stuff. Where
Yes.
people come to your door with like a fucking, an orange vest on, like they're official, and they have to do something around your house just to get you to open.
Yeah.
I'm always really proud when the dog barks at the door, because if it's one of these people who's like just casing the house, then they know there's a big fucking
Dude,
dog
our
here.
dog's like cashed. Bang, 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 bang. Our dog.
Oh, I know.
You guys hear that?
I know. She's very.
I think it was a knock, but
she's very relaxed.
a fucking siren goes off 3 streets away. Oh.
Yeah, because she. One thing about our dog is she hates the fucking cops.
She hates the cops, man. She does not back the blue.
She once saw a cop. Like, I knew that she hates the sirens, but one time she saw a cop like just in uniform, and she fucking went apeshit. I was like, what happened to you in your previous life?
I think it's probably because she was, they snatched her up and they put her in doggy jail. Not
the
cops,
dog catcher?
but the dog catchers.
Yeah, that's
so
funny.
maybe she just looks at them as all paddy wagons.
Hey, man, I get it.
Can't
Can't trust authority.
Erica said, I thought for sure yesterday was Thursday. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I know.
But upon us all at this very moment, or not at this very moment, but momentarily,
Later tonight
is really one of the most supercharged new moons. And this will be like, this kind of new moon is the kind of new moon that lasts. Like it lasts a cycle. Like this will go, this will go on quite a while.
Bringing secrets to light is the promise of this new moon cycle.
That's one of them.
New moon in Scorpio, which is conjoining the Mercury in retrograde.
Yeah.
So that is very weird.
Coming off a
scrabbly.
grand water trine.
And it's also opposing Uranus in Taurus.
Yes.
So expect big revelations soon. Speaking of which, there's an audio going around that everybody's making into videos of Donald Trump having a tantrum in audio.
Yeah.
Where he is shouting that
we are not going to release the Epstein tapes. I don't give a fuck about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That's right. He says, if I'm going down, you're all going down with me.
And just the other day, was it yesterday or today, he was asked about his hoarse voice, to which he said...
Yes, and I saved these articles here. He's saying, I I blew my stack. Trump says shouting over trade policy gave him a hoarse voice.
Yeah, right.
USA Today. Yahoo says Trump says his voice is hoarse because I blew my stack shouting at stupid people.
I'm sure you did.
He said that he was shouting during trade talks. First of all, I don't want a president who shouts at anybody for any reason. Like, can we not do that? I thought the whole point for us not electing a woman president was because everybody said they were too emotional.
You're
like,
fucking 80 years old, bro. Can you just fucking relax? It's almost over, dude. This whole thing, the whole charade, it's almost over, like, for good.
I know he's got grandkids he obviously doesn't give a fuck about because he wouldn't be working. But anyway.
And destroying their fucking name.
Yeah, I know. So listen. So
legacy.
So apparently people are releasing this audio recording of him losing his shit over the Epstein files. And they're saying that that's the reason why he had a hoarse voice, because he was screaming at the top of his lungs about it.
Well, you know how fast they'd get on it if they want to spread AI. So we don't know if it's actually deep fake or what.
We don't know if it's true because it could, obviously he speaks a fucking ton.
It sounds
and it's really easy to get.
Exactly like
I know. It sounds exactly like him, but it's really easy to get a computer generated copy of his voice too. And here we are in this, like, you know, weird modern day political hellscape where we don't ever know what's fucking fact or fiction when it comes to.
It's so weird that we live in this time frame where in this timeline where we're like, we don't know what's fake and what's not real.
Yeah, I mean, that they can fake the president's voice so much that we don't know whether his voice in a recording is real or not is really, really bad news. That's danger times, guys.
Terrifying. Yeah. Absolutely fucking terrifying.
But anyway, when he said, if I go down, I'm taking all of you with me, my first thought was like, don't threaten me with a good time. You know, I would like to see that happen.
Exactly.
I'm very curious about how that would go. Maybe just try it for a little while.
Well, listen, if in fact it wasn't deep fake, and you know, it is no coincidence that this voice of his is hoarse, right as the Epstein files fly through both branches of government, and they're like, sign it, motherfucker, we're gonna read everything. So
what's he gonna do?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be, he's gonna lie. He's gonna do the fucking, you know.
I know, delay.
Well, they say it's gonna take like 30 days.
Oh, Pam Bondi said, yeah, we'll get right on that, guys. It's just it'll just take us 30 days to release those. Which is like
here's the thing I feel entirely confident about. And it doesn't mean that it'll just come out right away.
No, for sure they won't.
Let me finish what I'm saying. What I mean is, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, I think that they can't get away with, like, over redacting and fundamentally changing what the report says, or the files say.
They can't get away with.
Because I think
who's going to hold them accountable?
I think who? I'm trying to say it. I believe that there have got to be at least a number of people who have a copy of this file. This is not going to be some, like, it's a digital file. It might be a few gigs tops. It's a very easy file to put in your pocket.
Maybe it's time for Anonymous to finally fucking do something, since they're threatening all the time.
Well, I don't give a fuck about them. There's some people who I think actually have the files. It's not about Anonymous. I'd say that's absolute. I'd say there's no chance that the Department of Justice has the only copy. No chance. Zero fucking chance. So I think we're going to get it all. I think it's going to get exciting as hell. So yeah, hang on. Melissa's here. That's so awesome. Good to see you, Melissa.
Yeah, that's so great. Austin's
here, by the way. Erica is here. Hanada is here. The gang, bro. Let's go. So anyway, that's the Donald Trump news. I'm excited for it. I can't wait till this happens. There is already the very first. Well, you know, first of all, there was also this thing about how Bubba. Did you hear about this thing? Mark Epstein, who is Jeffrey Epstein's brother, released some like email or something that inferred
a clarification
that Bubba went down on Trump.
Oh yeah,
and everyone got to because I guess Clinton. I didn't know this, but Clinton has a nickname Bubba.
Yeah,
but that is not
He's
the
from
Bubba.
Arkansas.
Yeah. That is not the Bubba. The Bubba that they were talking about. It's a different Bubba? Yeah, it's this guy who...
Or do they want you to think it's a different Bubba?
He's that guy who ran the modeling agency.
Second. Do they want you to think it's a different Bubba?
Oh, no, it's definitely this Bubba.
Is it very conveniently a Bubba who has passed away and can't speak for himself?
I feel really confident that it's definitely the Bubba that passed away.
Oh, okay.
Because they were extremely close, like, you know, all of these these guys. Like Bubba was in the center of it all. And this guy is this modeling agency guy. His name escapes me at the moment, but I will get it for you. Anyway, he was found unalived in his cell in Paris. He was awaiting a trial for the Epstein crimes.
That is also fishy because he was found unalived in the same manner that Epstein was.
Well, I don't know. I think a lot of people don't think
very suspicious.
You do, but a lot of people don't. Apparently, and I'm not here to argue with you, but apparently, more than, more than one person has witnessed him attempt multiple times to take his life. But what is suspicious is that they did not have him on watch at all. It was like, all right, night then. Oh, did you try that? Didn't work out though? Well, we're glad. We're glad you're still with us. See you tomorrow.
Might be pretty quiet around here tonight. There's not a guard on duty for really far.
Like maybe
away.
the way they unalived him was just being like, night night. Like, maybe that's how they did, just like, you know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. We're going to be over here eating our roast beef sandwich. It's so scandalous. This is such a scandalous moment in American history. It is one of the most scandalous moments. It's up there with the Catholic Church and that fallout, which by the way, I don't understand why that hasn't really completely crumbled. Like it really still blows my mind. Like the Catholic Church just goes like, okay, well, we're just going to go about our business. Is that cool with you guys? Yeah, we know that we've had literal pedophiles in every single archdiocese.
It is very, very well recorded in multiple cases,
all over the world.
That it has been a huge cover-up.
Yes,
by the
global
by
fucking
the authorities in the church.
That is the biggest pedophilia cover-up in the history of mankind. Yes. No doubt about it.
I know.
And people don't even really talk about it anymore.
No?
Like everyone's talking about Epstein, and Epstein is fucking horrendous. 1,000 girls, they say. 1,000 or more girls. Fucking A. I mean, that is just unfathomable. It's so deplorable. And it doesn't even that's probably like one diocese or one city in America for the Catholics.
Somebody was
for the Catholic Church, I should say.
So somebody was talking about how they're really irritated that Trump is back in the White House because all we ever do is talk about Trump, and he remembers that he didn't ever have to talk about politics before.
Who?
This person was complaining. He was like, I didn't used to have to fucking talk about politics. It's in my face all the time, and I'm sick of it. And I was this person responded to him, and he was like, we're not talking about politics. We're talking about true crime. Like, this isn't politics anymore.
No.
None of what we're talking about is politics.
Exactly.
This is a huge criminal enterprise that has just seeped into our political world in this country. Yeah. And it's just like, we're no longer talking about, like, nobody's ever fucking arguing about policy anymore.
No. As a matter of fact,
we're talking about crimes and criminals.
If anything, the political side might be on the mend. Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene is influential, and it is entirely possible that this woman begins amending that's happening politically, and that's not going to change the narrative about the true crime story that we're all watching.
Breath about
I said maybe listen, I'm going to breathe too. I'm going to breathe through it too, but I'll tell you, man, watch that interview. It's shocking. It's shocking. Yes, could she unwind in a week or two? Maybe. And if she does, then we'll be like, okay, she's Marjorie Taylor Greene again. But I have a feeling that she is. Here's what I think in terms of the ghost of whatever Christmas Future. I think that's what she saw. I think the ghost of Christmas Future showed her that she has been lied to wildly, and that she devoutly believed what she believed. And that makes her dangerous in 100 different fucking ways. But if she truly believed it all, and it's like coming out of a cult. Like, she might be coming out of a cult right now.
This is exactly how I see it. And nothing is more dangerous to the cult than the person who's left the cult. Because they've woken up and they feel fucked over by the cult. Oh, and that's exactly why Trump is now turned on her so much.
Leah Rimini, whatever it is. Yeah.
So that's why Trump is turned on her so much. It's very obvious. And I feel like he knows that he no longer has control of her, but she knows where the skeletons are buried.
So I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but I will cross my fingers. I will hope. I mean, she's still obviously wildly religious, and she still has these other problems. But that's been a problem in America for a very long time. And typically one that we can,
And you're only talking
handle.
about it as a problem, not because you hate religion, but because the separation of church and state is supposed to be
Precisely that. Enforcing religion and people in society is not the way it should be in a free world.
Do you want to hear?
But yes,
from the chat?
I in Catholics alike. I mean, I have Catholic friends and love Catholics and got married to a Catholic at one time.
Do you want to hear from the chat?
Yeah, please.
Delicate said Marjorie Taylor Greene is still a white nationalist.
Yeah, for sure.
She said questionable things on CNN.
Yeah. I absolutely. There's no way that this woman has. I'm saying that she may be on the mend on her side of the fence. Like that side of the fence is so burning lava bad right now that somebody's got to pour water on it. And if it's her and it works, then that's going to be to our benefit. Because what we want is rational minds to start simmering to the top. When that starts happening, that's when we can maybe start actually at least getting out of the trouble, if not, actually creating something, progressively better for everyone.
Cosmic Urgency is asking, what did she say that's white nationalist? She was confronted with the label, and then she said that she owns it, and she doesn't know why everybody isn't. She said that she believes in patriotism, and so she's conflating the two. But she's sort of trying to launder white nationalism and alt-right beliefs through this rah-rah United States flag, we should only be for us, America first type shit,
Yeah.
And it's a very clever scam she's pulling.
Yeah, dude,
obviously it's not true.
I'm in Georgia. I saw some of those commercials of hers with the the whatever it was, the fucking assault rifle. Talking about shooting down, fighting against social democrats. It's
you're like, oh, I saw this movie
socialist.
when it was called Idiocracy. This is so weird that this is actually happening.
So I know who she is. I'm just saying, maybe she pours a little water out of that mouth instead of fire. And if that happens, maybe somebody squeaks by her that can actually make a difference. So we'll see. Or maybe she gets what do you call it? Primaried. And suddenly, they found themselves another kook. They're like, no, we prefer the kooks. Is kook a bad word? Can you say that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that you're not allowed to say spook or spooked.
But you just did.
But it's interesting to learn the reasons. And you're like, oh, there's racism again.
Don't do that. That's what I mean in terms of what we don't know what we've been taught.
I know. Oh, that word I've been using and everybody's been using is actually racist? That's fucked up. Okay, well.
Holy shit. Didn't know. Thought it was just everybody talking.
I have to exchange that one for another one.
Oops,
throw it in a pile.
My bad.
Erica said, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is crazy, but I also believe that she passionately believes what she believes.
Right.
And it isn't just on a grift. Like some of these higher ups, I think, fully recognize they're grifting and they understand with each other that they're grifting. Yeah, of course. But I believe that the reason why she's had a change of heart is because she has to believe what she believes. And it was
well, that's what's encouraging.
It was
because,
contradictory for too long.
People who are in a cult, when they speak from their culty places, it's like, oh my God, it blows your mind.
Yeah.
You can't even imagine that they think that way. And, Allison Mack is out right now, right? She's telling her story that people are going to find completely unbelievable. Because it got to the point where they literally branded women. It's just an absolute nightmare. And the guy who ran the whole thing is in jail for the rest of his life over it. So not a small deal at all. So these people come out of it. They wake up. They're like, holy fuck, I was a part of this. And here's what happened. And they have memories of it. The PTSD must be crazy. Who knows what she's going to go through. But if the first thing that she goes through is a panic to make right the mistakes she's made, holy fuck, can that be helpful at this time?
Cosmic Urgency has a correction for you.
Oh, great.
He said, he didn't say that Bubba went down on Trump.
Oh.
He said
Trump went down on Bubba.
Yes. That is what he said.
My bad. Thank you for the correction.
Delicate said that Bubba and all of them and Epstein are probably all on an island with Biggie and Tupac. Do you remember for years, everybody kept having Elvis sightings?
Oh, please.
Do you remember
that? Something that captured me was, those fucking magazines at the checkout.
Yeah.
One of them said it had a picture of what was JFK at 65 years old. They said in the caption that he was living in the Alps.
Oh my God.
that he had the the capacity, the mental capacity of a 5-year-old.
Oh.
And he was like sitting in this like playful kind of position. I was like, oh my God.
And then like
JFK is alive.
and then the other quarter of the color is like Bat Boy speaks.
I fucking believed it for weeks, dude. For weeks I went around going, oh my God, wait till everyone else finds out. You know, this is before the internet, obviously. When I was a kid, we didn't have the internet.
I always remember, in the grocery store line, you'd look over at like the fucking National Enquirer or whatever it was, and it would always just be like Elvis sighted at gas station in New Mexico. I'm like, well, that's where he would fucking be.
It's Nicolas Cage. Everyone stop. It's obviously Nicolas Cage. Okay. She said she's white nationalist, not nationalist. I don't even know cosmology. I really don't know. I know that I would be quick to believe that she's capable of being a white nationalist, because I believe that their party, on the far right, at least, has that. Let me tell you, man. I got into town. I was here a couple of weeks, whatever. I think I told the story. I got sat down to meet with a billionaire, and the first thing they told me was, "You got to join the White Boys Club." I mean, this stuff is just real. It's everywhere. It's all fucked up.
I hate that story.
Yeah, it's the worst story, dude. It was how we started our visit here. I was like, man, oh,
yeah, that's fucking.
Because it's the thing. The two things I hate most are misogyny and racism. I think they're the same thing fundamentally, and I think that they have done nothing but slow this country down. Of course, rot its core. Rot its core.
I think what it requires is a complete lack of curiosity, and to me, that's just despicable. Like, you have to be so afraid of the other to be like the other, in quotes, the other.
Yeah.
To have any of those beliefs where you feel like you're superior to someone else. Like, I just feel like it's a fundamental, like, ineptitude to be mature and inquisitive and receptive to the world around you. And I just feel like, oh, okay, so this is like toddler shit that you're doing.
Right.
Because most of us grow up and then we like, want to broaden our horizons and learn more about different cultures and like find out what that person's like and what's this person's favorite thing and what is this strange cuisine like? And most of us just go through life and we're just like really cool and chill and not challenged by any of that stuff. We're curious and we're engaged with the world around us. And then there's these people who are like, no, I want the borders closed
right now.
I only want men around me all the time.
America is for white people.
Everyone else is weird.
Did I say Shannon is here? Because she is.
Yes.
A sponge says, in the movie Chasing Amy, the waitress is called Flo. Was that a nod to Dawn's Plum the year prior, as they were both in the same indie scene? And the answer is, I so badly want to say yes. Like, I so badly want to like. Oh,
but you don't know.
Say it's definitely not.
Definitely not.
Yeah, definitely not.
Do you think they're both based on the same person? Because you said that Flo was named after.
Possibly.
Oh.
I think that television series Alice had a profound effect on my generation. I think all of us watched it. It was just a wonderful series that had, it probably doesn't hold up. I can't imagine that anybody, it probably really doesn't hold up. But at the time, it was good television. I loved it.
We should have Kevin Smith.
I think so did a lot of people.
We should have Kevin Smith on the show and ask him.
Yeah, sure, man. Come on, Kevin Smith. Who knows? At some point they might have to begrudgingly come on. But that would be the ultimate fuck you in the whole world. Is if this fucking live got so popular that these guys were like, oh my God, I have to, they were like, oh God, it's on the, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing Dale.
Yeah, like the agent calls and they're like, you have to do it, bro. Everybody's doing it.
They're like, dude, you cannot miss this.
I just saw
literally, if he doesn't tell you to go tell people to go see your movie, you might not win the weekend.
Can you imagine?
I want that so bad. Of course, see how I dream? It's so big all the time.
No, I know, but like,
we're going to be lucky to get to 1,000, man. I mean, we're, what do they call it?
Don't talk like that.
Well, I will. I'll feel very lucky.
I think every time I see another advertisement for that Hot Wings show,
yeah,
I'm like, how the fuck does he book these celebrities on here? And that's the conversation they're having with their agent. The agent's like, okay, so I got you booked on the Hot Ones.
They love it. People love that show.
Really?
Yeah, no, the celebrities love the show. They want to be on it. It's just like Bill Hader wanting to be on, What's in My Bag. you know, he requested to be on
Yeah.
What's in My Bag. They didn't send out a request. He was like, I want to show you what's in my bag. Very much so.
That Dale's
And it's
talking
not
about.
just because he wanted the free shit.
Dale's talking about a really great series, Amoeba Music. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's in California, but it's a huge music
Delicate
store.
Nose, definitely.
Amoeba
She's been there a
Music
few times.
Has a YouTube channel, and they interview a bunch of celebrities about what they're shopping for, and it's called "What's in My Bag."
It can be really fun. It can also be extremely boring. Like sometimes it's like, is that it? And they're like, yeah, okay. And like even the producer or whatever, they're like, okay, well, you go and enjoy that then. And it's not that they like had bad selections, but they're just like, yeah, got this Making Movies by Sidney Lumet. I just recommend it because Sidney Lumet's good at it, you know?
There's no direction about it either. So there's some people who are like, they'll curate some like a show and tell of their favorite, most influential albums or whatever else they picked up. And then other people, which is really interesting. And that's why I like the show so much. But then you okay over there? But then other people will be like, yeah, I just went shopping, and they'll pull out all of these things from their bag and then show you what they got. And they're like, I don't know. I've never heard this album before, but it looks pretty cool. And then there's this one. I've never heard this album before, but my friend says it's good. So I picked it up. It's so boring.
Delicate said she was just at the Berkeley location. The last time I was at Amoeba was before we moved to Georgia. It's where we went and sold our records. Mm-hmm. We went and sold we were like, yo, you want to buy these back?
Yeah, basically.
You know what I mean? It was pretty great. They were fucking great, man. They gave us great prices for our stuff. Like I felt like well cared for, even though obviously you take a hit because you're selling to a retailer.
Yeah, right.
So you got to wholesale that
I hope
shit.
they went to good homes.
Yeah, and they take good care of their stock and everything. I love that place. Long live
Amoeba Records.
Yeah, Amoeba Records. By the way, Liev Schreiber was hospitalized. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, what happened to him?
He's all right.
Did you find out?
I don't know yet, but he apparently got cleared to work and got cleared to return work. They ran tests. He probably had a fucking panic attack. He probably didn't know he probably doesn't know. He probably thought he was like total. He might be like me that you're going through life and you're like, I'm fine. I'm completely adjusted. I got through it just fine. Everything is okay. No, I got this. I got it. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, what is this from? You have no idea. You're just sitting there like, why is this happening in my stomach right now? You don't even know. Just because it comes out of nowhere sometimes,
Yeah.
You keep that shit kind of bottled away because you think you got it all fucking sorted. Whatever happened to Liev. Now, I'm not saying anything did happen to Liev. I hope nothing happened to Liev. I hope he is, just had a little medical fucking emergency that they all took care of.
Hospitalized always sounds really severe, but it could be.
Well, it's a headliner, yeah.
He went to the hospital because he stubbed his toe real bad and had to check if it was broken.
I don't know if it's gas or my appendix. I can't tell. Is it gas? It is gas. Okay. So what do I do? Oh, okay.
It's pretty
Here
much.
or just
Oh, Maggothead 1980 is with us said, yes, I watched a few episodes of those Amoeba videos.
Yeah, they're fun. They're really super fun. They can be super entertaining. I'll tell you, man, John C. Reilly's is my favorite, hands down. Like I loved all the music he took us through. Whole bunch of like a straight up hit list of great shit
Dude,
that you've never heard.
Me.
Yeah, he like, especially when it comes to like eras, like, Frank Sinatra, for example, is like, I kind of know what to look for now with him. Whereas I never really did, because Frank Sinatra was just a guy to me, an enigma, really, because it was not, my parents didn't even like that guy. He's just from their era. So it was like the music my parents didn't even like, which, kind of put some tension between me and Frank right from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But it was all that like, later stuff with Jerry Lewis, where they were all fucking mobsters.
They're like super drunk all the time.
Yeah, just fucking on TV with their fucking scotches and their fucking cigars and singing fucking standards.
Maggothead 1980 is saying, it's been a while since I've tuned in. Hope all is well. How is all? Dale?
All is well.
All is well?
I think so. I'm really excited about the live, man. I worked on today I worked all day on, and I'm going to probably post it tomorrow, but all the Sarawitz stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we had a lot of fun, the fucking chat was lit up. Like, I think what makes this such a good time is like we have such great people hanging out. They crack us up.
Definitely.
They inspire us. It's really fun. It's such a good time. So yeah, all is good because because I'm having a ball building this new little dream. It's really fun. Just building out a fucking cool place where we can hang out and talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fun.
Should I get to reading this thing or what? What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's do it. So, also, before you do it, did I have something I wanted to say? That I did have. Oh, fuck, I forget it. It'll come to me while you're through the first paragraph. Oh, yeah, I remember now.
You got to have a little notepad in front of you where you jot stuff down. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
You got to make a practice of it.
Yeah. Anyway, I really like the coverage that we're doing on this. I also think that our take is like totally sane. You know, it's interesting because like one of the things that's interesting about like filmmaking, especially if you're like, or acting, is like when you see yourself, that's when the truth hits you about what's up. Mm-hmm. When acting happens. And you know, when we're doing these lives, like when I go and I watch it and I see I can see it's like almost like a, you know, outside myself, the positions that we're taking on this stuff. And it's solid, man. We have a solid take on it. And so
we
do
would
the people
feel that way. So, you know, because it's
not necessarily, actually. I'm pretty self-critical. I'd actually be coming on here and saying, hey, man, I think maybe we're being a little ridiculous. But we're not.
Like after seeing that bar behind the scenes footage, yeah. I recognize now why Baldoni thought it was no big deal. Because I read his lips and kind of heard him because the audio is just trashed. But I thought he said, "Is that okay? Would you be comfortable with that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, if he's speaking to people that way, then he must be really surprised that they're taking offense to anything, and that's why he bristles and gets offended that they're offended. But it still doesn't matter.
Well, it's not even bristle. That's when he starts to feel like they're targeting him.
Yes,
specifically.
I recognize that. Yeah. And so I think I understand where he's coming from, but it doesn't change the facts of the case, where these people made complaints and he was legally obligated to address them, and he didn't. So, like today, somebody was sharing this. Let me see if I can find this real quick. This declaration from the person who works at Wayfarer's HR, where they were saying that they know of one HR complaint.
From It Ends With Us.
Yeah, let me see. I can't find it. Anyway, they were saying that they recognized that. Then they were admitting that they know of one HR complaint, and everybody was sharing this online, saying, "Well, this is how you know that Blake Lively's lying, because there wasn't even another, according to the HR person, there wasn't another HR complaint." Well, why the hell are they not seeing that as a fault of the fucking management in Wayfarer? When we know, and they've admitted, that Blake Lively did complain. She verbalized complaints. And if HR never heard about that, that's their fucking fault, right? They don't know.
I don't think it's a CRD requirement to file a complaint with an HR department.
The law does not mandate that Blake Lively do anything other than voice a complaint. And that they said that this person said that there wasn't a recording of it. That means that they did, in fact, violate the law, which is what makes them vulnerable to a civil lawsuit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's weird that they're trying to turn that around on her as if it's her responsibility to file an HR complaint. You know what I mean? The law doesn't say that it is.
Cosmic Urgency is asking if this is going to be for the rest of life. I don't know. I know that we are just finishing this. There's two things left of the major things left on the evidence.
Until the end of November.
That fell.
Yeah.
Which is, and we want to get it on tape.
Yeah.
Which is rest of this summary judgment. And then we have the interrogatories, which are massive. They're crazy.
So Blake Lively answered questions from the publicists as to, they were like, you need to be specific about what we said that you think was a smear campaign. And so this guy in this neighborhood has this fucked up car, and it's so rude. Okay, I don't know if you guys heard that.
They probably didn't. Keep going.
Didn't. So the interrogatories document is about Blake Lively answering the publicists about what they said that was a smear campaign. And then, so this one, what I was going to read today, is Wayfarer's motion for summary judgment, where they're sort of lining out the case for why Blake Lively's claims should be dismissed, adjudicated on before a trial.
Correct.
Not dismissed.
And there's loads of really wild shit in there.
Yeah, I basically just wanted to share it with Dale to get your reaction, because I think it'll be funny. And then I was like, oh, well, I should just do that on the live.
Oh, is that what it is?
I like to show off.
You're baiting me?
Yes.
Well, I'm
like
down. You know I'm game for
that.
that. Let's see. I look forward to it because I'm sure it's going to get under my skin. I'm sure of it.
All Scientist said, I want a cut of just your epic rant from the end of yesterday's.
I haven't even seen it yet. I know that Angela was like, no, you got to stop, Dale. I'm like, no, I'm out of it. I'm gone.
I was like, it's 3 hours in. Like, it's too late to be losing your shit.
Yeah, I kind of went off. I haven't seen it yet. Well, I hope it's well good. Yeah, I'll cut it. I'm gonna cut it. I'm probably gonna go to that one next. Actually, I'll probably do Baldoni, then I'll do Heath because I think Heath was the lowest key of them, of the three of them.
Yeah, but he revealed a lot though.
No, I'm gonna definitely cut it up. We're gonna have it all.
People are also talking about him a lot today, blaming Blake Lively for exposing his wife and her private video to the world, which is like, obviously, if there's anybody responsible for that, it's Jamey fucking Heath, who had it on his phone, you know? The Junk Farm said, Justin Baldoni just figured out how to beat sexual harassment claims. If you have no HR, you can't have an HR complaint.
Yeah.
Can't get sued. Genius. Can't believe nobody ever thought about that before.
It's so stupid on its face. They already testified that the HR person wasn't even in the office pretty much ever. So it's just, you know, he couldn't tell you where the 800 number went. I mean, it's just a fucking, you know.
A scientist said they don't even know if the hotline they set up had someone answering.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Even if Lively had tried to go to HR directly.
No, they could not testify to its, you know, efficacy or availability.
Yeah.
And, you know, it sounded like maybe it was like a pay or play situation where it's like, yeah, if you call, then we'll charge you. Or maybe it's just a flat fee. They literally had no idea what the fuck it was. And it doesn't matter because I would not personally, if I felt harassment, I would not feel comfortable calling an 800 number provided by my employer. Like that's not how I'd want to
like,
file a complaint.
I'd like to complain about the boss, your boss, my boss, all of our bosses.
Can we talk about our boss, please? Yeah. And I mean, HR department is similar, but at least with HR department, I fill out a form. There's a record.
Well, also,
I put my story out there. It's not somebody talking.
It's really stupid that he didn't use it because it would have protected his company. If he had followed the protocol for how to address sexual harassment complaints in the workplace, she would have had her CRD complaint would have gone nowhere. I mean, well, there was retaliation. So if he had also not done retaliation, then there wouldn't be a lawsuit. There wouldn't have been a CRD complaint. There wouldn't have been a New York Times article. There wouldn't have been anything. Because he didn't take care of his own company when she complained, he made himself vulnerable to this lawsuit. That's why he's in this.
Yeah, I mean, and Junk Farms, I was just about to say this. The actual policy said to report to her supervisor, and that's usually how it goes. You report up. So then it becomes the supervisor's responsibility.
And they admitted that that's what she did. She called a meeting.
She called a fucking meeting.
On June 1st, she was like, this last month of filming has been a fucking disaster. I need to tell you guys about this event and this event and this event. She did exactly what she was supposed to do. They didn't escalate it the way they should have. And now
that's not her responsibility.
So then she had to escalate it. That's what happened.
I don't think she's going to have any problem proving sexual harassment, and I don't think anyone is going to think that that at least from what I can tell, that the sexual harassment was, you know, out of like, you know, like unforgivable. It's bad. It's horrible. It shouldn't be there. It's stupid. It's such a waste. It's just like such a waste.
Okay.
It's
Speaking of a waste,
shit.
Would you like to hear about this motion for summary judgment? Speaking of a waste.
Yeah, sure. Hit me with it. Yeah,
there are a few lies on the very first page, and I want you to tell me whether you spot them.
Okay.
Okay. Introduction.
Lies.
This is the memorandum. There's a separate document that's a statement of facts. I'm not going to get to them both because they're long. And these guys are so hyperbolic anyway, so who knows how this is going to read. Blake Lively, an immensely powerful A-list actor, agreed to act in a film adaptation of It Ends With Us, a book with themes of sex and domestic violence. During the initial stages of filming, she voiced objections to certain on-the-set behavior she did not like. That behavior, involving no more than miscommunications and awkward comments, falls well below the threshold for any claim of sexual harassment or other legal wrong, especially in the context of collaborating to make a sensual and provocative sexually charged film. Regardless, Lively's concerns were heard and fully accommodated. It is undisputed that whatever she claimed to have experienced ceased. Filming continued during all future stages entirely without incident in an environment Lively touted as redacted and redacted, including the filming.
Fantastic! Absolutely life-changing.
Including the filming of all intimate scenes involving Lively herself. Even Lively's then lawyer said no formal HR process, let alone litigation, was necessary. Any issues had been successfully resolved. Months then went by, but as the film was edited and moved towards its premiere, something else happened. Lively asserted control of the film and took aggressive steps to minimize Justin Baldoni's role. Even though Baldoni had conceived, directed, and co-starred in the film, and it had been produced and co-financed by his production company, Wayfarer Studios, Lively took all the credit. She wrote the Producers Guild of America, redacted.
Dear Producers Guild, it is Blake Lively the Great, with a quick announcement of my greatness to you directly.
I have successfully taken over a film.
Of course I'll take your pithy p.g.a.
We have seized control of the Baldoni project.
I now own all of Hollywood and the New York Times.
At the same time, Lively and her actor husband, Ryan Reynolds, disparaged Baldoni to their famous, high-powered friends in Hollywood and to Baldoni's talent agency. As the film's premiere approached, Lively became increasingly hostile. She excluded Baldoni from marketing materials, press, and promotions for the film, snubbed him on social media, urged Sony to eliminate his A Film By credit, and even tried to exclude him from the premiere.
So it's so interesting how they fucking twist things around. It makes me sick to my stomach. So what actually happened was, I'm not going to do marketing with that guy. You can go do your own marketing, and you should go do your own marketing. I'm not going to do it with you because you are not fucking playing nice. That's not her. That's just
mischaracterizing this.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yes.
Why?
What happened was, okay, Sony and Lively were like, we're doing this marketing plan. Sony was like, I have a marketing plan. Lively's like, dope. I'm going to do that with you. Sony's like, cool, because you're obligated to by your contract. Like, you're paid for by Sony in part, and so that's your obligation to do marketing with us. And Lively's like, cool, I'm going to keep my obligation to Sony. Baldoni goes to her and is like, hey, what if we do this instead and we make it this other marketing plan? And she's like, I can't. I got these Sony obligations. And he's like, okay, I'm going to twist it in the press and say that you don't want to work with me. Instead of Baldoni saying he doesn't want to do Sony's marketing plan, he made it seem like she wasn't going to do his. When the marketing plan was Sony, because Sony is the marketing and distribution entity, Wayfarer wanted to do their own marketing, and they had these ideas from long before they were involved with Sony. And for some reason in their minds, that supersedes anything that Sony came up with. But Sony's the fucking distributor. Sony's going to do the marketing. Lively is going to do the marketing with Sony.
I think it's entirely possible that
they went fucking rogue, and they're blaming Lively for it.
I think it's entirely possible that Blake Lively did say that she didn't want to promote the movie directly with him at, side by side.
It's possible.
I think that I'm just saying that it's quite common for director and co-stars to do press junkets together. It's in fact the norm. Mm-hmm. So for them not to do that was not about a marketing plan. And, I heard things like, oh, well, it's because of the DV between the two. And I call bullshit 100% on that.
No, it's total bullshit. She was like, I am obligated to do the Sony marketing plan. And if you, Baldoni, don't want to do the Sony marketing plan, then I don't know what to tell you. But that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Blake Lively is doing the Sony marketing plan.
And there was also whatever tension there was an intention for him to be at the book club screening.
He was supposed to be at the book club. Yeah. He was in the hospital.
And she was there.
No, but he was in the hospital.
No, I know.
He couldn't make it because he was hospitalized.
I understand that, but I'm saying that he was supposed to be there.
Yes.
Yeah. So that would have been them together at the book club. That's my point.
And he wants to scapegoat her for that too. He says that then he changed his story and said Colleen Hoover put him in the hospital. But he's scapegoating her for his having missed the event. For putting him in the hospital. Like, come on, this guy's nuts. Okay. Do you want to hear more?
I do, please.
I also noticed that she urged Sony to eliminate his A Film By credit. And there is literally no evidence of this. There is Sony marketing asking Baldoni about his Film By credit and whether it can be removed from marketing materials.
What I find incredibly interesting about all that is that they slap about her face the vanity credit of executive producer.
Oh, I know.
The biggest vanity credit in film.
Yeah.
Like, without any question, the biggest vanity credit in film is a film by.
Because it means nothing.
And a film by it came from marketing. Yep. It's because people like Steven Spielberg started happening, right? So it became a film by.
Yeah.
They used to be back in the day, it'd be like it's a Wheatley and Wheatley picture. It would be the producers. They would name it, they'd call out the picture, and it would be like, Yeah, it would be the producer. It would be a Bruckheimer, a Simpson Bruckheimer.
Right, because a film by Spielberg would always be because he's producing it, but he's not directing it. So he wouldn't have been on the poster otherwise if he didn't have the film by.
And then suddenly people started recognizing directors, and directors started getting this film by credit, but it was used as marketing. It wasn't you. It was used as like, oh, well, people loved this. Spielberg won the Oscar, etc. So now we have a film by.
So he's whinging about this film, which is,
but it's pure vanity, because he literally has, no one gives a fuck about a film by Justin Baldoni.
No, and it's still it's still on the fucking poster. What he's fucking whinging about is that it wasn't on top of the graphic of her face, which is just so nuts. So yeah, it's really interesting that they're projecting that she wanted a vanity credit or has a vanity credit, but he's the one who's fighting so fucking hard all the time about this fucking vanity credit.
Whining and crying. And of course it was an exclusion for artistic reasons only. It had and on the poster only.
Also,
it exists on the film itself. It existed in the trailer.
It's important to recognize that Sony sent an email. The only evidence he has of this to show anybody is Sony sending an email asking.
So far as we know, yeah.
Asking if with a Wayfarer people are fine with the removal of this film by credit. Which is
And it was a very
imagine that they were like, yeah, sure, that's cool.
It was also like a very like it's a common thing, dude.
But I wasn't finished.
I'm sorry.
There's no mention of Lively having any involvement in that decision. Nobody even mentions her in the email. There's no connection to her whatsoever.
No.
He's imagining things if he thinks that somehow supports his claim that Lively had anything to do with it.
I've said a long time ago, and I'm inspired to renew this because I haven't said it in a long time. I truly believe that Justin Baldoni thought that this movie was about him, not Blake Lively. That it was going to be like, dude, I wrote it, I directed it, I made this movie. It's my big moment. This is my shining moment.
And it should have been.
But well, it wouldn't have been in the same way that it would be for Blake Lively. I've said this time and again. Blake Lively was the star of this movie.
What I mean is,
they admitted it themselves in their own document. She was a, A-list actor.
Yeah.
Meant to bring in the fucking butts and seats.
What I mean is, look at how his actions have made his film completely overshadowed by this bullshit. Nobody can ever say anything about It Ends With Us without it being synonymous with this fucking...
No, and it's a good fucking movie. It fucking did $340 million in the box office, had a fucking killer fucking...
So he completely sabotaged his own efforts there. It's fucking nuts.
No, it's the biggest fumble. We keep saying it. I'll never stop saying it. Never saw a fumble like it in my life. Don't know that we will again.
I'll continue. In light of these astounding developments, according to Wayfarer's motion for summary judgment, in light of these astounding developments and not the minor concerns about the on-set behavior raised and successfully resolved many months earlier, Baldoni sought the advice of a crisis management public relations firm, as any responsible person in his position would do. He wanted to minimize fallout from media coverage of Lively's increasing attempts to alienate him from the film. What? You can't be alienated from your film.
I cannot believe it. They own the movie.
He's the director, the star,
and
the
own
fucking owner.
the fucking movie. They're locked out of their own store.
Insane.
Looking out from the inside. Looking in from the... God damn it. Hey, do you know what? Before you continue, can I answer this question? Because it's come up twice now. Well, somebody said it's a good question, so I'll throw it out. It's the producer question. What do producers do? Executive co-producers, etc. I'll whip through it, okay? Real quick. So what producers do is interchangeable. An executive producer can do what an associate producer does. An associate producer can do what a regular producer does. And a regular producer can do what a line producer does. And to break it down into its sort of simpler terms, most associate producer credits are, it's a kind of a glorified PA credit. It usually means they did or brought something reasonably valuable to the production, or that they have been valuable in previous productions and were promised that on the next production they would get an associate producer credit to move them up the sort of food chain and into the higher paying jobs and the more recognized jobs above the line. So associate producers are the least of them. Co-producers are more substantial. They're just one shot under regular producer typically, and they can do anything from, bringing in business deals for it, attachments, could be director, writers, could be producers, additional producers, any number of things a co-producer can do to earn that kind of credit. But it is substantial. It wouldn't be a small thing. If you got a co-producer
Like you didn't
credit,
bring hoagies one day and now you're a co-producer.
right? Or even like, like got somebody a cool location, or even like maybe like a co-producer wouldn't get a co-producer credit just because they brought like, a supporting cast member. A co-producer credit would come like if they brought like somebody substantial or made a substantial contribution to the development of the screenplay. Also, they could be considered a promoted producer from associate to co-producer because they did that on a previous job and now have the same job. So they don't necessarily have that defining moment necessarily, but they did have that history and brought that history forward, and then have and with that sort of have a level of expertise that is recognized. And then you get into producers, and producers are typically the people who set up the movie. They got the movie. They own the properties. These are the producers who developed the screenplay from word go. They found the writer. They found the director. They had the relationship with the big star. They set it up at the big studio. They're the sort of. So I'm a producer.
So you work day to day, always on the film.
Every day, all
Everything
day.
that happens on the film, you're involved.
Most producers are making a lot of the decisions, in charge of, if not the entire production, which you'll normally see as produced by, but also, if not the entire production, then certain departments, multiple departments. So producers.
But there's a long list. I think there's like 5 different people who are accredited as a producer on It Ends With Us.
Yeah.
And so those people obviously aren't weighing in on every single decision all throughout the production
That's what I'm saying.
the entire time.
Some of them, now look, some of those producers brought major attachments. They were the reason the movie got made. Those producers could have brought money on board. Often, that's given an executive producer, but if it's substantial, then, you would see it. And I don't think that's the case in this movie. In this movie, I think it's probably more like just major contributions. But you won't find very many vanity credits going down in the producer credit.
Yeah.
It's a space that is sort of protected by the people who run the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't let just anyone be a producer on my movie. I'm a producer. I will gladly elevate somebody to producer if I feel like they've contributed enough to be one. And but I would never just hand that out willy-nilly, if you will. And then executive producers are often heads of studios. They can be actors who are giving executive producer credits because they want to get an additional bit of recognition for elevating the film, because it could be they could be the pivotal reason why the film got made in the first place.
Yeah, also,
so a financier might say, by one producer who brings a financier aboard and says, hey, if you get me Blake Lively, I'm in for $20 million.
Yeah.
And then so the person who lined up that person who said, I'm in for $20 million if you get me Blake Lively, if that person brings Blake Lively in, boom, now they've got their credit.
I imagine if the studio brings on an actor and they're like, hey, so at the end of this movie, what we want you to do is go on all of this press because we're going to do an Oscar run or something like that for like the director or the film or you or whatever. And I want you to make sure that you're going to do all of this press. You're going to spend 2 months of your life fucking on the road promoting this movie. They're going to be like, I need an executive producer credit for that.
Well, not really. I mean, that the marketing is something that like every actor is, if that is shit is expected and built in, and you've got to promote.
It sounds miserable.
They get paid really well. Blake Lively got $1.75 million just on her salary. I think she can, afford to fucking give up some of the time it takes to promote the movie, since she's been so handsomely paid. And by the way, and then she's got another, and then like a lot of these actors have their back end, and I mean, you're a QVC for your own product at this point.
So speaking of Blake Lively, so if she wasn't a producer before post-production, and then there was this issue about Baldoni's director's cut versus the theatrical cut that the studio was trying to craft, that Sony was trying to craft, and if she stepped in and helped Sony finish that, are you saying that reliably earns her a producer's credit on any other film?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say that that it was the Taylor Swift attachment that got me, that would say, oh yeah, you're a producer on this movie. The rest of that,
any day, no matter what.
The rest of that, I might say, hey, like, I think this is good co-producer contributions. Like if she's in the editing bag making contributions, that feels like a co-producer to me. That does not feel like a producer unless she was in from like, frame one and really did like contribute a lot. So, I would be very judicious about giving that credit out.
What they do claim that she did contribute was the Taylor Swift song, which is massive.
That's a fucking with the letters producing all day long.
So if Sony thought that the score that Baldoni had paid for the film wasn't right, and she brought in a composer to create a score that Sony did like, she would have been given credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's like, hey, check out this guy's work. It's awesome. While that definitely falls under producing, and it doesn't, I wouldn't give it a credit for it. Like, I wouldn't say, oh, hey, man. And even if you give me like, I still feel like she's co-producing at this point.
And then also if Lively was like, hey, Sony marketing, I have like this company that can take care of some of your promo shoots for you. My husband runs this marketing company. So you guys can outsource some of your promo shoots to this company so that you guys don't have to do that yourself. Would that also qualify for?
I mean, it would not be for me. It would not. I would be reluctant to give somebody a producing credit for that, especially since they're directly benefiting from that. Money is going to flow through from Sony to their company. So, for me, I'd be like, yeah, you've got a good marketing company. Good on you. Let's go ahead and do that.
Do you think that Blake Lively deserved to have earned a producer credit through the making of this film and her contributions in it?
Overwhelmingly.
But even though I itemized all those things and you were kind of waffling about whether those counted.
Yeah. I didn't say they didn't count. I just said I don't know that I would give her a producer credit for them, but she would get a co-producer credit, which is an upgrade from executive producer in that more vanity, in the shadow of vanity credits, right? Because executive producer credits are not all vanity credits. In fact, they can be the most powerful, most influential people in the movie. They can be the producers in the sense that they're the ones that are actually controlling the movie and are involved from, head to toe in the quality of the film. So it's a weird credit because it's also diluted by so-called vanity credits. And, when we see something like, not so much on television, because on television, it comes with a paycheck. In film, it's totally different. That's the other thing about credits and producer credits. They're very different in terms of
from film to TV.
From film to TV, they're very different. Produced by credit, it still has that same kind of weight in terms of like talent and contribution to a TV show, but it's executive producer in a TV show that you want to be. And they're the ones that are typically the creators, the writers. They're in the writing room. They get assigned specific episodes to write, maybe even some to direct. So executive producers in the TV world are typically a totally different ballgame, and used much less as a vanity credit. I guess it's possible they still might be, but
we don't have
in all likelihood, if you see somebody in a TV show with an executive producer credit, they're doing something really major.
So do you think that she got a p.g.a. credit from this film?
Yeah, she deserved it.
You think she deserved it?
For sure, of course. Because everything you mentioned to me, co-producer, and then when you add Taylor Swift to the mix, it's just producer overwhelming at that point.
Okay.
Because Taylor Swift is nothing you can get unless you have, that is the biggest favor you can get pulled.
Yeah, like
in
you can't
Hollywood.
buy her music.
Her music's not for sale. Mm-hmm. They would have no other way to ever get something like that. And I truly believe, and I bet you Sony will testify to this during the trial. Like, remember this: the breaking point for success for them was Taylor Swift. When they attached Taylor Swift and that video went out to that song, Swifties that was it. It went 128 million over fucking night, bro.
Yeah.
Overnight, 128 million.
Also, the p.g.a. is an organization that exists to assist and protect producers, right? Do they also so it's a mentorship organization, is it not?
The p.g.a. Yeah. Well, in part.
Right. And so it just seems really weird that there was this contentious battle between Jamey Heath and Blake Lively about this p.g.a. credit, because it seems like if you belong to what is essentially they mandate that you become a mentor to other producers, why would you want to gatekeep a p.g.a. credit for somebody who's helped produce your film?
Especially somebody who's just new to film himself. Like he's not like some old school producer, bro.
Yeah, so who the fuck is he to gatekeep?
So he's the guy with the rule book suddenly, and it to me really, as soon as I heard that, I was like, wow, that stinks, bro. That stinks.
Yeah.
Because he's, first of all, not, and to your point, he's not playing by the rules or by the, it was his job. He should have thought of that going in. When she asked for the fucking credit, he should have been like, hey, dude.
How can I help?
we'll put you through the PGA mentor.
It's a fucking great
This will be your PGA
organization.
mentorship. You want to do that? Then he would get credit. And then he would basically be getting credit for the amazing job that she did. They just couldn't have fucked up more. And so what that did for me is it immediately created a suspicion that this is a deep-seated problem in their psyche, in their problem as it's a personality disorder that we're dealing with, and not something else. We're dealing with something as severe as misogyny here, right? Because it doesn't actually make sense. There was too many benefits for them to elevate her, especially knowing what she could bring to the table. They knew she had Taylor Swift in her fucking Rolodex. They knew that was a great friend of theirs. And they had to know that to put and you know, what sickens me, what spoils my stomach. And by the way, I say that because is them talking about, she got to choose the song. I couldn't believe the absolute ingratitude there.
Oh my God.
We're talking about Taylor Swift and Tears Ricochet.
It's a perfect
song. It couldn't be a better fucking song.
Yeah.
I know her recent catalog pretty fucking well. I've been listening to it on a loop, man. And I'm telling you, I probably got a good grip on I don't know, 60, 70 of her songs. And that's perfect. The best one. Mm-hmm. That's the best one of those that I've listened to. That's the best film, one. For sure. But besides the fact that it is definitely the best song for the movie, the arrogance of them to believe that they could go on a shopping spree with Taylor Swift, the most prolific pop star of our time, go on a fucking shopping spree. Oh, I think I'll take that one and that one. It was just unbelievable. It's fucking practical royalty. You're practically, you're metaphorically bowing to this fucking opportunity.
They're like, when fucking Blake Lively always gets what she wants. When even when she's attaching fucking majorly
unbelievable
priceless fucking assets to our film to enrich us. When
it's unfucking believable,
making us millions more dollars in the process. When
and look, this is a part of him where I keep talking about them being over their heads because we got a perfect circle back in when we were in Denmark, dude. I got their fucking debut record. It wasn't even released yet. And we got the fucking album. They were like, if you guys, it's a new release. They want to be on a hip little movie. And so you guys can pick any song you want for your movie. And you're in for practically nothing. A perfect circle. Let me finish that story. It's a crazy story. Well, no, I guess it's not a crazy story. You don't really give a shit about it. But look, it's a fucking, the point is that was an indie film. It's a different, and it's also different when you're working with a label or a music supervisor, right? Who's out bringing opportunities to the production than it would be to have an opportunity like working with the biggest pop star in the world. That's a totally different seat at the table. It's not, and they couldn't differentiate it from being just indie guys who are like, yeah, dude, I'll put let me listen to the whole record and I'll pick my favorite song. That's not how it works.
Let me get to the chat a little bit. The Junk Farm says, what ticks me off is that they didn't even actually fight the p.g.a. They just wrote a bitch letter to their own file.
Yeah.
They just bitched with each other about it. And then submitted it as if it's fucking evidence of any of her wrongdoing.
This is their whole thing throughout the whole fucking thing is they acquiesce to her and then they blame her for it. They're like, she's like, I'd like to be in the editing room. Okay, yeah, you can go in the editing room, you fucking bitch. No, that bitch just stormed in. No, it's it's nuts.
I just saw the evidence again where Baldoni's like, I'm just going to give her 95% of what she wants. Fuck it. I concede. I wave the white flag. And I was like, okay, well, you can't sue her for that, dude. What are you talking about?
Cosmic Energy said a perfect circle sucks. I'm going to say I don't even care because they were a big fucking act and I got to have my pick if I wanted it. And the point is that isn't whether or not they're good or bad. It was that the labels, when the labels are dealing with you and they're trying to put something in your movie, that's when you get to pick. When you want to go shopping for something, you either got to pay an enormous amount of money or you got to know somebody. And when it comes to Taylor Swift, money is not relevant to the conversation. She's beyond money. Her work is priceless.
Shannon O said that the press about the feud and the people hating Lively, the people hating Baldoni, it worked in the movie's favor. It made me aware of the movie and I went to the theater to see it and I wanted to see if I could see the tension. That's interesting. So he helped the marketing.
What a shame that yeah. Imagine that. Don't tell them that. Because all of a sudden Hollywood would be like, we need to plant, now they'll get publicists.
They're going to be like, that really
pitting
worked.
their stars against each other.
That's fucked up. Mr. Hands 57 said, I always thought the job of a producer was to buy liposuction.
That's really funny. Who said that?
Mr. Hands 57.
That's super fucking funny. Well, that's
KK
just
also said, I would have never watched this movie, let alone rewatched, skimmed it 100 times on Prime, LOL. Let's see. KK's asking, I wonder which producer arranged the Guinness product placement.
probably neither. None of them. Probably Sony marketing arranged that. Like every liquor is one of the liquor booze.
Yeah.
That's like one of the first things they try to get into product placement because they spend the most.
Yeah, right.
They love product placement. It's easy to do. It's easy to do. You just throw Guinness in the fridge and you just made the production a fucking $500,000, $1 million. Like it's crazy.
A Sponge is asking, was Leo a producer on Don's Plum because he discovered the acid jazz and brought it into the movie?
No. Leo was first of all, he didn't recommend it to the movie. He was like, come watch this band.
Yeah.
We saw the band and said, we're going to put it in the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's how that worked. If he had done that, look, Leo could have been a producer on our movie. All he says, I'm going to be a producer. Okay. What a fool. He should have.
He should have.
Yeah.
He would have actually been able to get away with it.
The truth is that we just got severely underestimated.
Let's see. KK's saying, I've been wondering if her getting a p.g.a. credit involves some kind of additional fee for her.
No. She got no additional fee. No. And I don't think that the p.g.a. has anything to do with they don't. I think they might have guidelines, but they don't. They're not actually a guild. They're not actually a union. I should say it's not a union. So they're not there. There's no collective bargaining agreement. It's actually what they're trying to do is they're trying to the whole purpose for the p.g.a. credit is to hold producing to a specific standard because it has been so diluted. Those credits have been so diluted by people who bring favors to the production. And those favors can be like, look, if you're sitting on a movie and you've got $750,000 in the bank and you need to get to $1 million, that last $250,000, that last mile that you need, you fucking you'll sell your soul for it, bro. You're just like, I just need 250K. That's your green light. That's your go. Maybe you had a 1.5 budget. Right, you got a 1.5. I mean, on the Christian movie, it was like as soon as we hit 600,000, we were a go. But our whole budget was $1 million. Mm-hmm. So we were still fundraising while we were crewing up. While we got, we attached all our people. The money came out of escrow at that point because we had a $600,000 target to trigger. Right. So does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Does that help? Yeah.
A Sponge is asking, if you're an actor, writer, director, and producer, do you have to be in all the unions at the same time and pay all of them money?
If it's a DGA, WGA, I don't think there's any. There is no union for the p.g.a. That's just a guild and not an actual union. So there are no dues. They don't have a collective bargaining agreement. Nobody is signatory to them whatsoever. They just create a standard, and then you get to use their trademarked p.g.a. As a credit and be accredited, by them. I'm sure eventually, and there's dues, so you'd pay dues. Yes, of course. You'd pay all your dues. Listen to me. Actors, bro, everyone's like, oh my God, he got $20 million. And it's true. That's an outrageous amount of money.
No, it gets carved up though.
But it gets carved up bad. Like they end up with like about a third.
A third?
Yeah. Damn. So somebody makes $1 million, they're coming home with 300,000 and everybody get paid. And if they don't get paid, sit down. Like, you don't like that? Sit down. We'll get somebody who does. Just sit down. You sit this one out. Like, it's like that. They'll turn you off. Leo, he fucking pulled a fast one on Hollywood, bro. And Rick, Rick Yorn kind of kicked off. So it was Rick Yorn worked for free. And so Leo ended up liking what he was doing. Left CAA right after the Don's Plum debacle. And so his agents, no more 10%, gone. Leo saved 10%, 0% to Rick Yorn. Leo saved millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, walking away from all his commissions, leveraging his name against somebody else's career. After that, Rick Yorn started signing everybody, Cameron Diaz.
It's a good thing because obviously, Leo needed the money. So,
Anyway, I did digress. So yeah, that's basically the rundown of producers. And Blake Lively totally deserved her producer credit. And I would actually venture to say that it might even be that she deserved it more than Jamey Heath. And that Jamey Heath might have been more detrimental to the production than anything else. And to go over that very quickly because it's worth it. He should have never let Blake Lively in the editing
Well, he
room
also
until
got
after.
literally scolded by Sony, saying you were going to greatly harm the release of
Well,
this
that came
film."
later.
So
but
there's that.
He shouldn't have let her into the editing room
Yeah.
at all. Obviously, he should have had an immediate reaction to any complaint whatsoever, and it should have scared him to his bones. He should have known that he was sitting on a gold mine, potential gold mine. He had a 6 million book bestseller. He had Blake Lively A-list with Taylor Swift in her Rolodex, and he didn't recognize the opportunity to seize the moment and correct problems to to everyone's utter satisfaction. Is not a fumble. It's, to me, he should have been demoted. He shouldn't even be on the fucking set.
Malpractice.
And then to go up, to be the guy going up with that video and not asking permission. All he had to do was ask permission.
Unsolicited and without warning. Just
All he had to
show a video of a nude person into the face of 2 women who are his co-workers. You will never not convince me that he is a terrible person for putting all of those women, those 2 women he showed the video to, and the one, his wife, who was in the video, to put them all through this. Just absolutely the most idiotic thing. I hope that I don't like to talk about people's personal lives, but I hope she doesn't fucking stand for this shit, dude. To be treated that carelessly, to have her private video now an evidence in a fucking lawsuit over his misbehavior, over his misconduct on set. Ooh, he should be punished.
So Jamey Heath is a bad producer, and that was, I think, wildly on display. And I think that when people are screaming about, or when Justin Baldoni, it's interesting that Justin Baldoni sees this as a Blake Lively takeover, and while it was Jamey Heath who held open the door, he held open the door, and the threat that Baldoni felt is not uncommon for directors in that kind of a position where people are trying to infiltrate the edit. So many people want. You know how Blake talked ad nauseum about authorship. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants goddamn authorship in Hollywood. They want to go to the movies. They want to nudge the person next to them, their grandmother, their brother, their son, and they want to say, "I did that. That's me. I did that." It could be the worst moment. It could be where everyone gasps and or laughs at it because it's awful, and they'll still go, "I did that. That was me,
man. That's not me."
So it's a plague that infests every production. Almost entirely, and the director's chairs, who everyone is after in terms of that's the access to making creative decisions is going to be through the director. And so Blake Lively's ambition to get into the editing bay, while I completely understand it, and I would be the same way exactly. I would want in there as soon as I possibly could, because I would be immediately sure of the kind of contribution I could make. She shouldn't have been allowed. And that was Jamey. That's Jamey Heath losing control of the production in that moment.
That's right.
That's him losing control of the production. It's not her taking control.
One thing that I really
it's just totally, absolutely fucking whacked to think otherwise.
One thing that I really admired about your producing when I got the chance to see you do it on this last movie that you made was that you really took the role of producer as the meat shield for everybody else who's below the line. Below that producer level, right? So the department heads and then the director and you were just buzzing around and making sure that everybody's cool, right? It was you described it as Jamey Heath should have been the meat shield. Blake Lively comes to him with a request that would have impeded on his director's progress in the editing bay. He should have been a shield for that, and instead he was I don't know, Baldoni, what do you want to do? Instead of saying, Blake Lively, I'm sure you understand that the p.g.a, the Directors Guild of America, mandates that that their members have 6 weeks or whatever the time period is where they get that unimpeded so they can develop a director's cut, and we're just going to allow Justin Baldoni to have that if that's cool with you.
That's all that had to happen.
She never would have fucking complained about it. She would have been
she would understand that completely.
But after she would get in, and that would be fine because she's a producer.
Let me ask the internet if It Ends With Us was p.g.a.
It wasn't.
So this is so he wasn't.
But he still could have cited that, and that would have been
absolutely. We're observing p.g.a rules.
Here's the thing: if he had done that, and she pushed back, that would have made her the jerk. But instead, he didn't do anything like that. He wasn't trying to protect his director at all.
I don't think she would have.
He just deferred to Justin Baldoni. You know why? Because Justin Baldoni's the fucking boss. He's his boss, even though he's like running Wayfarer. He doesn't see himself as the boss. It's Baldoni who's the fucking
The
boss.
only pushback I heard that came from her in this regard came when she said, "Are any of the other producers not allowed to see the dailies?"
Yes.
And I think that was a valid fucking question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if she's a producer on this movie, and
She's
the other
like, why am I
producers
being
are
singled out for exclusion?
absolutely
Yeah.
valid. And again, that's where Jamey Heath would have failed in my book, because if Justin Baldoni were my director, I would have went, "Ain't nobody getting in except me. That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
Me and Justin. That's the fucking world, and that's
Yeah.
it. Good. Have a good day." And then after 6 weeks, we'd open it up to
No, but you're right. That would have answered that
Lively
question.
notes.
If she was like, are any of the other producers allowed to see? And it's just me being excluded. You'd be like, no, nobody's allowed to fucking see.
except me, and because I am
This
the
isn't a fucking
producer.
free-for-all.
And by the way, there is the producer. Like they all got producer titles.
Yeah.
Jamey Heath was the producer.
Mm-hmm.
It was his production.
Yeah. So he could have taken the responsibility of protecting his director.
He was the guy who had to. He was the only guy who could.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, there was not another person there who should have been the meat shield between him and anybody else trying to get to him.
So I've said from the beginning that I feel like this is like such a really amazing, successful scapegoating of Blake Lively. She's getting scapegoated for Sony's decisions, but she's also like she's getting scapegoated for Heath's bad decisions. She's getting scapegoated for all kinds of other people who are actually involved in making the decisions that she had nothing to do with.
And what would you do if you're a practically minded person, assertive, understands where the problems are and how to potentially try to find solutions to problems? What would you do if you're standing in the middle of a production that you've lent your A-list name for a Mill 7, but it's your A-list name. If it flops on you. It's that shit, the success, they get the success, but they also get the failure in Hollywood, especially. So,
but what I do?
What would you do if you're sitting there and you're watching it fall
exactly
apart?
What I would do.
Okay, what would you do?
I am a professional of 20 years experience, and I have been on.
Yeah,
all
you
kinds
have
of
all of
sets.
her credentials.
So I'm Blake Lively, and I have a huge, long career.
And you're seeing the ball be dropped.
Yeah.
What would you
I've
do?
worked with numerous professional productions where I know when shit is going to go bad, and I can tell. And I'm working with Jamey Heath, he's brand new at this.
Yes.
He's only been involved in Wayfarer Studios for like 4 years, and even before then, he doesn't have this long resume. Justin Baldoni, this is his third film that he's directed. I would definitely go to whoever else I could find that has the experience that I do. So I would go to Sony, which is evidently what she did. I would go to Sony and I would be like, hey, a little bit concerned about how things are going for my reputation, yours and theirs. Maybe we could like put our heads together and try to figure out how to influence these noobs over here that are kind of fucking shit up. That's exactly what I would do.
Yeah. It's, I think, the perfect reaction. Delicate saying Taylor's brothers, Austin is responsible for song placements and believes that they suggest the song unless there's a specific song that is wanted. Well, I think...
Well, they did great.
Yeah. First of all, I've done that, right? We wanted an REM song for the Christian movie. And we almost bought it. We almost spent $20,000. What? And then I was like, man, I could get a whole score for that.
Yeah.
So I bought the whole score.
Great.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's buy a score.
Yeah, that's better.
And then we hired a local kick-ass songwriter.
And put money in the local economy.
Yeah, and put money in that dude's hands. And he sat in his fucking... in his little bedroom, and he fucking cut music the way Blake Sennett did for us.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
In Don's Plum.
Have we moved on, or should I continue reading this?
Continue.
Document? Okay, I'm going to.
We're going back, but that's all the producers and a whole lot more.
There we go. Okay, so here's Wayfarer's motion for summary judgment continuing. Okay, this is still the introduction.
Okay.
He said, in light of these astounding developments, and not the minor concerns about on-the-set behavior raised and successfully resolved many months earlier, Baldoni sought the advice of a crisis management public relations firm, as any responsible person in his position would do. He wanted to minimize fallout from media coverage of Lively's increasing attempts to alienate him from the film. He did so for the benefit of both his professional reputation and the newly released film. He relied on media professionals to boost his image and assure that any coverage would be balanced and accurate. None of that is against the law. Okay.
Well, that is absolutely...
It's their same lawsuit that he threw out. They're making the same fucking arguments.
I mean, that is absolutely... Oh, my God.
His publicists
what will the ruling
admit
actually
that
say? My God.
His publicists admit to doing much more than this. They are obsessed with Blake Lively and what's happening with Blake
yeah,
Lively
come
in the
on.
press.
People are making careers out of it.
I know.
I mean, we should.
No. I mean,
we're talking about it on a daily basis.
I'm talking about the defendants in this case.
Yes.
Were very focused, not on their client, but on Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Aided by two of the world's largest litigation firms, Lively now seeks to create causes of action where none exist. This is so unbelievable.
Except that they've been given the right to sue, and their lawsuit is going forward.
She cannot show the behavior she disliked was caused by her sex or gender, a basic prerequisite for her sexual harassment claims. She alleges Baldoni's resort to public relations professionals was retaliation for complaints she had raised. This ignores the large temporal gap, not to mention the many intervening events between her raising of concerns and Baldoni's resort to crisis management professionals. There can be no claim for retaliation based on purported complaints raised in the distant past. That's not true. And it's not the distant past. They've only known each other for a few years. Nor did Baldoni and his co-defendants engage in a defamatory smear campaign. It was not illegal for Baldoni to promote positive content about himself or truthful narratives about various events. That Lively's reputation may have suffered as a result of her own ill-advised public statements and actions. This is a dispute about Hollywood reputations, not genuine legal wrongs. It does not belong in court.
Not according to the CRD, not according to Judge Lyman. It's a very interesting thing because it feels like it flies in the face of the court.
Yes, and the evidence that they have provided from their side. It's stunning.
He wants to know you can bury her.
It's like them saying that all that Jed Wallace did was monitoring, and then they're constantly thanking Jed Wallace for the wonderful work that he's doing, changing the narrative and suppressing stories and all of this other stuff. But that's not just monitoring. But they're in the text messages saying it. Okay. Statement of facts.
Yes.
Are you monitoring the chat?
No.
You should.
Kind of.
Okay.
It's hard. Anyway, I'm glancing at it. But keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Justin Baldoni is an actor, director, producer, and author with significant experience in addressing gender issues, including in 2 published books and a podcast devoted to questions about masculinity.
He tries to be a fucking expert.
No, but see, here's the thing. They're misquoting him because in his book, he is very explicitly stating that he is not an expert.
But that's not what they're telling the court.
That's not what they're telling the court.
They're telling the court he is an expert.
All aimed at a predominantly male audience. In 2019, he obtained the rights to
produce... But not male audience, because statistically, it's females who were watching the podcast, and it was females who were buying the book.
Right. But it's aimed at a male audience.
Oh, well, I guess he missed his aim again.
Okay. In 2019, he obtained the rights to produce a film based on Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel, It Ends With Us.
The reason I point that out, Angela, is because they hide behind fucking bullshit. Mm-hmm. This is for men. Okay, ladies? It's and by the way, check out my apps. Like, it's fucking bullshit.
Baldoni's production company, Wayfarer Studios, which specializes in films designed to promote social change, initiated work on a film alongside Sony with Baldoni set to serve as the film's director and lead male actor. Because the story focused on issues of domestic violence, Baldoni and Wayfarer partnered with No More, an organization dedicated to ending domestic and sexual violence, and agreed to contribute a portion of the film's proceeds to support survivors of abuse. In early planning, the parties agreed the film's publicity needed to center upon and carefully handle these serious themes. In early planning, you see how they're specifically saying in early planning? When they partnered with Sony, Sony was like, yeah, we're going to market this as a romance film because that's what puts butts in seats. Got it?
For sure.
Cool.
It's the weirdest thing because it's like they didn't understand. Like, it's not the trailer that gets the message of the movie through. It's the movie.
And Sony was never prohibiting them from marketing however they wanted. It's, they were like, listen, we're going to market it this way. You guys can say whatever you fucking want on your social media. Like, we're not going to fucking stop you.
Yeah, they were like, go talk about your fucking charity, buddy. But it's not an official part of the marketing.
But they're acting like they were.
But they wanted it on the poster.
They acted like they had a fucking boot on their neck the whole time, and they didn't. Okay.
Well, because they wanted it integrated. When it's not integrated into the Sony marketing plan, then it's basically on the outside. So if you're sitting there saying that, if you're say they're making promises to these organizations on their own, which they didn't have the right to do.
Right.
And so if they're sitting around like, hey, I want you to be this and we're going to take you to the top. You're going to be in all the theaters. We're going to put you on the fucking poster. Maybe we can even get you mentioned in the movie somehow or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And Sony's like, no, that's not how this fucking works. So, and then now they're on the outside. So while it's a gesture to say, go ahead and do what you want, it doesn't have the $30 million Because you know how Steve Sarowitz said he put in $30 million?
Yeah.
In all likelihood, Sony put in $30 million.
Right.
And their $30 million was allocated directly for the marketing. So they got to say no. No, we're not gonna buy your mariachi band.
Okay, here we go. The first point is this is labeled A, and this is where the victim blaming starts.
Okay.
Their argument is that she should have known she was going to be sexually harassed because she signed on to a film that's sexually charged. Okay. Yeah.
The old Ron Jeremy defense.
Lively chose to take a lead role in a sexually charged film with adult themes. In December 2022, years into the film's development, Blake Lively, a well-known prominent actor, was cast as a female lead. Something here is redacted. She understood, nevertheless, based on the script and before she accepted the role, that the film would include sexual content and address domestic violence.
I love porn.
That's what he said.
I love porn. It's a real problem.
I was addicted to porn.
I can't stop it.
Anyway, I don't know what you're going to do with that information, but I just thought you should know.
No, there's nothing in the movie about loving porn. But I love porn.
Yeah. Prior to filming, Lively reviewed notes from a female Sony executive stating that the audience was expecting something redacted with redacted. Sorry, we don't know what that is. Okay. Part B. Lively worked as an independent contractor, but no contract was ever formed.
Jeremy writes that nobody chooses to be sexually harassed.
That's right.
I'll take the sexual harassment, please. And
with a side of belittling dismissal. Thank you.
Yes. And also
that'd be delicious.
Suppression. I would love a glass of suppression. Thank you.
Okay. Lively worked as an independent contractor, but no contract was ever formed. And I was eager to read this part to you because you're a filmmaker, so you would know whether this is bullshit. Okay. The parties never executed any contract concerning Lively's role.
Yes, they did.
They would have no rights to her likeness.
Yes, they did.
If they did not have a contract that was executed.
That is completely false. And by the way,
she would be able to sue them to stop the film from even being released if they did not have a contract. Well,
Sony, it stops at Sony. Sony would have never engaged in a movie unless they understood that she was under contract, and she understood that she was under contract. And to prove that point, when they found out that Ryan Reynolds rewrote the rooftop scene, the very next day they had a letter. They had a letter saying we need an agreement in place because that could potentially infringe on copyright. So if Sony was even remotely threatened by Blake Lively's contract situation, we know because of the threat they felt by Ryan Reynolds merely rewriting one scene, I should say.
Mm-hmm. In fact, in the email where they scold Jamey Heath for greatly harming the release of the film. Right, that he's not playing ball.
Yes, that he could potentially greatly harm.
They're scolding him, and it was after they had a discussion where Jamey Heath is trying to ultimatum the signing of the contract.
Yes,
in order for Lively to have more days in the editing room, and Sony scolds him for that. They're saying, "Hey, before they scold him, they're saying, hey, why don't we table that for a little bit? Like, why don't we just postpone the signature of the contract so that she can take care of these things and we don't rock the boat about anything? How's that?" And then he had a phone call, and then Sony scolds them. We don't know what happened on the phone call, but that's what happened in the evidence. And so if Sony themselves are trying to postpone the signing of the contract, and Sony is the entity that would care about the contract signature because they need a clean book of sale before they sell the film, then I think that says a lot about how important this contract signature was.
Yeah, and by the way, the reason why Blake Lively would have refrained from signing the contract is because she might have felt as though Jamey Heath was trying to leverage her into signing a contract that gave her a executive producer credit at the time that she was trying to get her
already
duly promoted producer p.g.a. credit after attaching Taylor fuck Swift.
Yeah, at the time she was attaching Taylor Swift's song and she was earning herself a producer credit.
Correct.
And he was like, hey, we need you to get your signature on this other thing real quick.
And I believe, and this is my theory only, but I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I believe that she didn't want to sign that because she knew that Jamey Heath was trying to get ink on paper, committing her to an executive producer credit, and then he would just defer to the signed contract.
That's right.
And he would say, we're going to give you what your signed contract says. But because it's not signed, it gives her that inkling of hope that she can negotiate that. That single negotiation, though, would not give her any leverage over the movie, the release of the movie, her obligations to the movie. So there was nothing detrimental to the movie by her not signing that in the hopes of getting that upgrade to her contract before signing. None whatsoever. And Sony would have recognized that if there were.
I am trying to find it, but I know that I saw that the anti-harassment literature that they had in Wayfarer, right? Like their little manual where they talk about their anti-harassment policies. So
Yes.
sexual harassment, discrimination, all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
They were specific that they said it does not matter if this person is just a subcontractor or a contractor instead of an employee of Wayfarer, that it still applies to them. That this anti-harassment policy,
Of course.
I can't find it. I saved it someplace, but it must be.
Especially if they're working.
Yeah.
If they're working on a premises, like it'd be maybe different for people who are
Right.
like vendors dropping off, equipment.
No, they
or,
said even vendors, that everybody that works with Wayfarer is protected by this anti-harassment policy.
I mean, it makes sense to me, of
And
course.
so let's see what they say about this, okay? So this is the section B. Lively worked as an independent contractor, but no contract was ever formed.
It's a lie.
Negotiations began in December 2022 between It Ends With Us Movie LLC, an entity Wayfarer Studios formed to produce the film, and Blake L. Inc., a loan-out company lending Lively to perform in the film. An offer letter dated March 17th, 2023 set forth the basic financial terms, which promised Lively $1.75 million fee plus various bonuses, but did not contain any terms regarding sexual harassment. The parties also worked toward a separate long-form agreement to
Were they saying they didn't have a sexual harassment agreement?
Not in that form, but they ended up with a bunch of writers. Okay. The parties also worked toward a separate long-form agreement to include other material terms. It Ends With Us movie's obligation under the offer letter was expressly subject to a condition precedent, namely, full execution of an agreement in a form reasonably acceptable to all parties. It Ends With Us movie's counsel circulated a draft of the anticipated long-form agreement between It Ends With Us movie and Blake L. Inc., the actor loan-out agreement. The draft stated conditions precedent, including full extension of the agreement and receipt of an executed document known as an inducement. It also had a merger clause specifying that it constituted the entire agreement between the parties, a provision prohibiting special or consequential damages, and certain other standard terms, including one stating there would be no actionable breach for any conduct unless notice was provided and cure not effected within 30 days. The same or similar terms endured throughout the drafting process.
Yeah, but they can't stipulate that against matters that are governed by law.
As work proceeded on the film, payments were made pursuant to the offer letter. The parties continued to negotiate the terms of the long form ALA, Actors Loan Out Agreement, into July 2024, but Lively herself continued withholding her signature to avoid being bound. No Actors Loan Out Agreement was ever signed. Okay.
And yet here we are.
And yet
here we are.
I just saw the
She
film
hasn't
she was
taken
in.
over the movie.
Nope.
They still own it.
I know.
They still get all their money. They paid her that as she was supposed to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
She got the producer credit and still not signed. Still not signed. You know why? Because it doesn't fucking matter.
No, it's immaterial. As soon as the conditions of the contract are being carried out, right? Like
The minute she stepped on to the first rehearsal,
yeah, she showed up to work, she did her work, they paid her.
yeah,
That's it.
the minute she began working, the minute she appeared in the first work-related required, event, probably a rehearsal or a read-through.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as she did that, that contract was engaged.
I wonder whether they're selectively saying that no Actors Loan Out Agreement was ever signed, because she ended up signing for Sony a different agreement that was updated.
Well, I'm sure there's
Like, if
some
she-
kind of likeness, like grant of rights, but it wouldn't matter
If she
because
signed an updated agreement later that stood for her contract for the film, then this one not being signed wouldn't even matter.
well, it wouldn't matter anyway. She already performed the contract.
That's right. Okay. This
It's
whole thing is full of this bullshit.
Stupid on its
Okay.
face, man.
C, from the outset, Lively...
Jeremy's killing it, by the way, and Cosmic Urgency thinks that Jeremy Wright is Woody Allen.
What's happening?
I don't know, man. He's going off on some shit, bro.
All right, let me read it. Let's go. All right, what are you guys fucking talking about in here? Jeremy Wright said, that's why the first time I was ever like, oh, I'm fully on 100% on Ryan Reynolds' side was when I read Baldoni complaining that he showed up at the apartment and Ryan Reynolds took him aside and he was like, what the fuck are you doing asking my wife about her fucking weight? And it made so much sense because as the husband having to help your wife put her life back together after another pregnancy, it's like very, very difficult to be supportive of somebody who feels like they're an alien in a body that doesn't belong to them anymore.
Dude.
So he's like, you are going to fucking
Pregnant terrifies me.
Yeah. So Baldoni being like,
It just terrifies me that I went through life like not realizing that women were afraid, and that happened most of my life. Like I just didn't know women were afraid. Like the big eye opener for me was a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, got real emotional about setting me straight on it because she could tell that I was not really paying attention to the problem, and she was like, "You don't know what it's fucking like to walk."
No, I
alone on a
understand.
street with a man silhouetted coming towards you. You don't know what goes through your veins.
It's not actually as extreme as you are making it out to be. Like I
I'm
don't
telling
think...
you about the conversation I had.
Yes, I know. I'm talking about that conversation. But you said that women are always afraid.
Well, they're not always afraid, but there's...
It's not really like that. It's kind of like you just you do a little risk assessment everywhere you go, and most of the time it's chill.
Well, okay.
But you guys do that too. I mean, being a boy in elementary school, getting his ass kicked by his peers constantly, like that's something I never had to deal with. You know what I mean?
It's totally different.
Yeah, it is totally different. But I'm not,
what she was talking about, she wasn't talking about women.
Excuse me. I'm offering that so that you could maybe relate to what it's like to have to do risk assessment everywhere. Yeah. Everybody does it for a different reason, you know.
She wasn't talking about living her life in perpetual fear. She was talking about the fear of the moment. She was talking about walking down a street when a man is walking toward her.
You don't have to tell me.
Specifically, well,
I know
but it wasn't like I don't think I was exaggerating anything or that she was getting it wrong as a woman. I think she was very clear about it. She was like, you walk down the street, you see a guy coming towards you in the middle of the night in a dark spot, and you're like, whatever, keep walking, smoking your cigarette.
I was just trying to clarify the experience.
I shit my pants.
I was just trying to clarify the experience for you, not for me.
Got it.
It's like risk assessment is a good way to put it. I think it's just like everywhere you go.
No, I get that. Like you do it here. You're like when you know.
Okay, so like when you are walking alone in like a parking garage and there's nobody around, you're like, this is fucking creepy.
I get scared. I'm scared of ghosts.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm like, is there a ghost?
It's the same shit.
It's not because the ghosts are men.
Well, here's the thing: is like I think that a lot of people recognize that it's less likely that you're gonna get like jumped from like some strange person in the bushes, and it's more likely that you're going to be like tricked or coerced or betrayed by somebody you know.
Absolutely.
And so it's a strange and
like I believe the statistic is like something like 89% of sexual assaults are from people they're dating or married to or know or are related to.
So in many ways that's way worse, and then in some ways it's better. So I don't know what to say, man. It fucking sucks. But I don't think that it's accurate to say that women are afraid all the time.
Well, we're spending too much time on this. We should get back to what we're
doing. Hey, man, I didn't start the conversation. Cosmic Urgency said, I would definitely joke about HR, but I don't present myself as a male feminist hero guy. Oh, I was going to say, Baldoni says that he apologized to Lively several times, but then we saw the behind the scenes footage of him at the bar where he says, okay, sorry, and like rolled his eyes. And I was like, that's the apology he's talking about.
It is.
That's why he feels like, oh, I dealt with it. I said sorry.
That's why she feels like it was never dealt with.
Like it wasn't ever fucking addressed.
Yeah, it's why she feels that way, because that's how it was flippant. The whole thing was flippant.
Yeah. Okay. From the outset, Lively sought increased control over the film. But the man enough guys are the ones who like to elevate the women around them because they live in a male-dominated world and they want to make sure that they can level the playing field, right?
We 100% would not allow it.
That's what the man enough whole brand is, right?
It's disgusting to me. Like,
so
and she's like offering the world, bro. Here are my dragons. Was it a stupid thing to say? Yeah.
But what she's talking about
is bullshit.
She said, and they can be your dragons too.
Yes.
Everyone around me benefits from these wonderful monsters of mine, and they can be your dragons too, is exactly
he
what
walks
she
out of there
said.
scared. I walk out of there doing all kinds of different dances.
I know. She opened up her network. This guy's like
I'd be like, I'm going to be working with Taylor Swift. I'm already working with
Baldoni's
Taylor.
obviously a career guy. And she just opened her fucking network of high achieving fucking super like monsters in the industry to him. And he's taking it as a threat. What a fucking moron.
Bro, we were working with John Legend. And I walked out of the office and we walked to Hollywood Boulevard. And you know that the big ticker on Hollywood Boulevard? I forget what street it's on. You know what I'm talking about?
The CNN building?
I think it's the CNN building. Yeah, it was the CNN building. So, you know the CNN building?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the ticker was John Legend.
Okay.
And I just remember feeling so fucking lucky in that moment. John Legend.
Yeah.
The guy was selling out 4,000 seat places. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there going, and he was a big star in his own right, like he is. but he's no fucking Taylor Swift.
No, but you're like carving out your little piece of Hollywood.
But I'm
where
sitting there
you're
going,
like,
man, dude, I'm fucking working with that cat.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fucking trying to make movies with that guy. I'm trying to make fucking TV
dude.
shows with that guy. I felt like it felt great.
Yeah, you wouldn't have fucking blown it all up for this.
No,
bullshit.
and this guy and that guy, John Legend, came from we'll call it a Blake Lively type in terms of position, where he was like, hey man, I'm in position, I can bring it, bro. And he did. In walks, John Legend. Next thing you know, we're pitching all these big TV shows because we got somebody to pitch now. So it's bizarre. This whole thing is bizarre. Their perspective is just absolutely weird in every possible way. This woman was giving them gold, and they were like, oh my God, it's a threat. It's literally how Hollywood works, man. People are like, yo, I got this and your project could use this. Let me give it to you, bro. What? Yeah, let me give it to you.
I will give you access to my network is like a fucking dream come true.
It can come in the way of musicians.
Unbelievable.
Amazing bands. Like we got that band. What's that band that we got where the song, what's it called? I always forget the song name for some reason. But that song that we got in Don's Plum that ended up being a hit later. That was a favor song.
Oh, Do the Panic.
Do the Panic. Do the Panic was a favor song, bro. Straight up favor song from a guy that knew a guy. And, 4 years after we release it in a movie, it becomes a fucking hit. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's very cool.
Now people are like, your soundtrack's so rad, dude. And like at the time, it was like nobody even knew that song existed. Came as a favor. Go ahead.
Okay, although recruited to act in the film, Lively immediately assumed an active role in production and in developing the film's script even before the filming began.
She was hired as an executive producer.
She was an executive
You're
producer.
You're a fucking
from the
liar.
Start. Unbelievable.
And she told you from the beginning when she wanted a producer credit that she's there to produce.
It's like this lawyer who wrote this hasn't read what the other lawyer who wrote the timeline and the First Amendment complaint. It's like they're not even on the same fucking team, because this guy's saying, although recruited to act in the film, okay, but she signed on as a fucking executive producer. Lively immediately assumed an active role in production and in developing the film's script even before the filming began. Among other things, she provided Baldoni with a rewrite of the rooftop scene in which Baldoni's character and Lively's character first meet. She explained that her version of the scene redacted. It related a line from the book in redacted. In messages to Baldoni, Lively referred to her revised...
She referred the book? She referred to the book that she didn't read?
Sorry, she retained a line from the book in redacted.
I see.
In messages...
That's got to be the naked truths or whatever.
The naked truth, yeah. I don't know. It's redacted. In messages to Baldoni, Lively referred to her revised draft as featuring redacted. There's a lot of redactions here. Lively took special steps to convince Baldoni to accept her version of the scene, redacted. After the meeting, Baldoni told Lively he would have gladly accepted her revisions, even without urging from redacted. And we know that this is her celebrity friends.
And but here's what's stupid about it.
We have this evidence.
Here's what's stupid about it. Like, that they couldn't see, to me it's stupid, that they couldn't see the writing on the wall. She was fucking nervous. She felt like she needed to be persuasive. She didn't, first of all, she was clearly somebody who she didn't feel had the respect. She didn't feel like she was garnering the respect. Clearly, if she did, well, I think she would have just had the conversation.
I will have more to say about this, but after I read the screenplay. But it's possible that she read that draft and was like, this is bad. Like, I want to act in something good. So let me try and convince this guy to take the rewrites.
She would have read the script before she signed on.
Yes. No, I know.
Okay.
And then
so she would have known that ahead of time then. She would have known that before signing on to the project. So I don't think it was a surprise to her. But I think that what's interesting about that, what you're saying, though, is that Ryan may not have. And Ryan may have read that and went, wow, this is weak and that is weak and this is weak and that is weak. And I don't want to sort of insinuate that Blake Lively doesn't know how to doesn't know how to read a script. She clearly fucking does. She's been doing it forever and she reads a stack of them every fucking weekend. So, my guess is that they knew that the script would need work. And, and I'm sure there was an openness to it. I'll bet there were conversations between them that were like, yeah, if I have some suggestions, absolutely, give me your suggestions.
Oh, yeah, for sure. These guys are playing jazz in the beginning of before the actual film shoot, and they had to be on set, and Baldoni started being really offensive to her. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni were collaborating wonderfully. So I believe that she was oblivious to all of these weird tensions that Baldoni is reading into all of these interactions.
Yeah.
She probably thought that it was going really fucking well because according to her and all the text messages he's shown, he is always telling her everything's going well and we're collaborating great and I want your collaboration to continue, right? And then he goes behind her back and then he complains about it. Well, how the hell is she supposed to know how he feels? I don't know whether she's even aware that he's got these issues.
This whole thing makes me feel so bad for writers, bro. Like, it's just like, it wasn't a bad script. Like the script we watched, it translated quite well. Were there errors? Yeah. I mean, the fucking grabbing of the pot and all this other stuff, but it was relatively speaking solid.
Okay, Lively has since disclosed that Reynolds, not she, rewrote the scene. This episode, which occurred even before filming began, was the first of a series of events in which Lively relied on an array of Hollywood friends to increase her control over the films or to contribute creatively.
It's just unbelievable.
To enrich Baldoni's project.
It's like they don't know the way the town works. That literally happens all the time.
Okay, that Lively relied on an array of Hollywood friends to increase her control over the film while denigrating Baldoni to them along the way.
That is just.
I don't know that they have shared. There's no citation of any evidence that supports that she was denigrating Baldoni to her friends, ever. Like, there's no citation here.
There's just stupid.
There's no linked. They're not adding anything that I can go look at for evidence of that. Before filming began, Lively took additional steps to influence the direction of and take control of the film. At her request, Wayfarer abandoned plans to film the movie in Boston, where the novel takes place, and relocated the set to New Jersey near Lively's home. Wayfarer also arranged to change the start date and schedule to accommodate Lively's other professional and personal commitments. Okay, well, I guess you should sue her for $400 million for that.
It's just standard. You have to do that. That's what working with stars is like.
Yeah.
They have wild schedules. They're expensive. They're difficult. They have needs beyond any other actor or anybody else working on the film. It's just how it works. And I'm sorry if that was your first exposure to it, but you should have been prepared for at least some of it. Fuck's sake. I mean, you were repped by fucking WME.
So this next section is
stupid.
This next section is heavily redacted. It looks like that.
Why don't you just skip the redacted and go down to where it's not redacted and start there?
Well, no, I'm just going to... This kind of
all right, do you
and we also know what a lot of was said because Baldoni's already shared these text messages between him and Lively in pre-production.
All right.
Lively raised concerns about her physical appearance. Having recently given birth, Lively expressed concerns to Baldoni and others that she redacted. When Lively asked Baldoni
she gained weight.
Yeah. When Lively asked Baldoni redacted, Baldoni responded, kindly redacted.
If that's the case, by the way, that makes him asking what she weighs more egregious.
Yes.
That's not a defense. That makes it more egregious. Is a mutilation.
You are going to strip this woman of her confidence if you continue fucking talking about her weight. Shut the fuck up.
For real.
Come on. I was just like, wow, he's awesome for taking care of her that way.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, meanwhile, Lively raised the same concerns to her agent, noting, redacted. Lively's communications reflect her frank awareness that the film was intended to achieve a certain sexualized imagery. She told her agent, redacted. Lively was equally frank with Baldoni, redacted. She added, redacted.
Cosmic Urgency says, I think Baldoni as an actor was the weak link. I did not like the casting. I was not charmed. I should have been swooning before the twist. And I think this is a really good point because, and you said this too, there's a creep factor to him, period. And he played the creep on, and this isn't, I'm not going to put this on Baldoni because Ryle is written as a creep, but he is a creep out of the gate in the book. And it's like a weird...
It's obscene.
Like, for example, when he says, I want to have sex with you.
It's worse in the book.
He says, I want to fuck you in the book. I mean, in the book. Yeah. He says, I want to fuck you. Like, he drops it.
The second time that they see each other, he has walked up several flights of stairs and has knocked on every door trying to find her door until she opens it. And he was like, I came here because I wanted to have sex.
Yeah, and the begging for a kiss.
Like, I cannot believe that people enjoy these stories.
And a begging for a kiss. So I think that I don't think you're wrong, but I don't know that it was Baldoni as much as it was Ryle that was the cause of that. And by that I mean, like, I think, and the reason why I think that Colleen Hoover saw Ryle in Baldoni is because Baldoni had that energy. He's got that like, because he's not. I mean, you're right. He's not like Atlas. The guy who played Atlas is definitely more like, except for his
cozy
anger
protector
scene.
type.
But he's a cozy protector type. That's
Yeah.
a great description for it. Yeah, cozy protector. Yeah, where you feel like you can like cuddle up and have a defense system. So, yeah, I agree with you, but I think that was again on Colleen Hoover and not as much on Justin Baldoni as a casting choice. I'll say that the Justin Baldoni casting choice was super risky because they aged up the whole fucking concept.
Yeah.
You know, because when you think about her making these mistakes as a younger woman, when you think Baldoni as you think about Ryle as a younger man making these mistakes, and then you have that, it starts with us, which is the focus on them.
They made a lot of smart changes. Like I said before,
Yeah, they adjusted well.
Making her wealthy was a really smart change, I think, because
well off, I think, is more accurate. But yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd think that she was staying for the money.
Well, how would she anyway be able to afford opening up a store in Boston?
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's fucking Boston. It's not like she's, doing it in Athens, Georgia commerce,
But, Colleen Hoover is a great writer in that she can craft a scene and you actually know what's going on. There's a lot of best-selling books I've picked up where I'm like, holy shit, why do people like this? This is impossible to even understand what's happening. But all of the criticisms I've ever read about Colleen Hoover, and especially this book, I was like, oh yeah, I get it. Like, I understand why people are pissed at her for writing the story this way. I don't know that I necessarily agree, but it's very much understandable because she took a lot of huge risks. Like making her fall in love with a man that behaves this way, number one.
For sure.
Yeah. It's basically like he just wore her down.
Well, I mean, of course it's supposed to be, it ends with us because it happened to her mother and,
Watching the movie actually really obscured one of Baldoni's points that he's been saying in his press for the film. We've watched a lot of his pre-premiere press, and he was talking about how when he was crafting the character of Ryle, he wanted to make him really redeemable. And watching the movie, did you see anything fucking redeemable about that character?
Well, you can't. Why would you ever want to try to make it a domestic abuser of fucking anything other than what they are?
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's just absolutely disturbing. And the reason, of course, is because, and this is why I believe that he truly is a narcissist, because I think he's in that situation where he's like, well, I can't be that. I'm not that. And he wouldn't be that. Like,
I have to be redeemable.
Yeah, I have to be redeemable. It was a funny thing, remember, in my book, and this is fucking, this conversation, happened 100%, where fucking, RD was like, telling RD or telling Leo, well, you got to make your character at least somewhat redeemable. And like, Leo was like, why?
Why can't he just be a jerk?
Why does he have to be redeemable? And like, RD's like, yeah, you're right. Fuck it. He doesn't have to be. He can be a fucking total jerk off. Let's do it. It's totally cool.
Cosmic Urgency said, Brandon Sklenar, be still my heart.
Oh, that's his name, right? Brandon Sklenar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hinata
He's the guy who spoke effusively. Is that the word?
Yep. Hinata said, Brandon Sklenar could have saved this movie and would be great in the sequel. He was amazing in 1923, and I'm not a fan of that genre.
Is that the one we watched?
No, we watched
18 something.
Yeah, we watched
that
guy's name?
Stupid. Taylor Hackard?
Taylor
Sheridan.
My favorite part of that one, which is like, I guess they were like on a wagon train or whatever.
Yeah, they were going
My favorite part of that
west.
My favorite part of Taylor Sheridan's, he wrote himself a cameo.
Yeah.
But it was late in the season when everybody's on this wagon train, like going through like the uncharted west, and he rides in on a horse, and he's like perfectly groomed, and he just like says something that's like, he comes in with some piece of wisdom, and he like saves them real quick for one episode, and then he like dashes away into the distance, and like there's no civilization anywhere nearby, and he was like perfectly washed.
I thought it was hilarious that they got
raves. I was like, oh, of course he would write himself that role to come in and save the day real quick on a horseback.
Yeah, and then he gets all these raves for writing like so historically well, but he has the Native American or the Native the indigenous
the Native American kissing
on the mouth. As soon as it happened, I was like, there's no way that they would do that. That wouldn't happen.
Yeah, Dale had to look it up.
I was like immediately upset by that because I was like, that's not fucking real. And you were unsure. You were like, are you sure about that? I was like, I'm pretty fucking sure. And so I looked it up to verify it, and sure enough, man, they don't kiss on the mouth.
Or they didn't, I guess.
Bother me. Shit like this bothers me as a writer. I'm like, you can't do that. That's where I get upset, because it's like you're changing something too important there. And that's also a great opportunity to do something where you can convey intimacy in a totally different way that is supposed to be the same as having a first kiss. Continue.
KK says, IMO, the love story between Atlas and Lily was the only good part of the movie. And Hinata agreed, said, and it's the point of the book. Baldoni made it look like it's about himself.
Yes. He was. It was the second lead, Justin Baldoni.
Kindly DiCaprio said, Cosmic Urgency is very wise with movies. I agree. Cosmic Urgency is very wise with movies.
I agree too.
Cosmic Urgency said, Ryan Reynolds told everyone not to talk about it, even if it's to support them.
Said what?
I don't know.
You said what?
Ryan Reynolds told everyone not to talk about it, even if it's to support them. Oh,
everybody's... Talk about what?
He's probably talking about the people on his side, where, you know, people want to speak up in support of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and he was like, you shut your mouth.
Yeah, shut it. It's hour 55 into this. You want to keep going?
I don't think so. I think I'm just going to finish up with the chat.
Okay. And we'll finish it tomorrow. I
mean, it's a fucking 73-page document. I'm not going to get through much more.
We're not going to record any more on it?
No, we can. We can if you want to. I just think, you know.
I mean, I think that it's really interesting shit, and we're going to cover the trial.
But do you want to do like another hour of coverage tonight?
No. I think we can finish it up tomorrow. Let's finish up with the chat tonight.
Okay.
And then we'll finish it up tomorrow.
Delicate said, I also don't think she is leaving Blake out to dry with Scoots. Scoots. I honestly think that they took their friendship offline.
There's no way that... Listen, why would Taylor Swift blame her?
Abandon her.
Why would she blame her for this? There's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way. There's no fucking way. I just think that people are high as... And she didn't drag her into anything. Taylor Swift's a big fucking girl. She knows how to handle her decisions. She is a big girl. She knows what decisions she made. She knew she was in control of her own destiny in that situation. And whoever it was, I think it was Delicate, who told us who in the family deals with the licensing. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm sure it became incredibly just, you know, formal at that point. You know, it was like, absolutely, just work it out with Travis or whatever his name is. Oh, it's not Travis, obviously. And off it goes, you know. So, you know.
A scientist said that Blake Lively could have seen the potential in the script when she signed on. And the Junk Farm said that Ryan Reynolds definitely improves and adds jokes all the time. Tweaking a scene seems normal. In my opinion, it did not improve the scene, but I haven't read the screenplay. I feel like if they wanted to improve the scene, they probably would have returned to the book. And they probably would have tried to adapt it more closely, because the rooftop scene in the book is excellent. But
that's a debate. He's speaking about the intention.
That's true.
And you're right about the intention. And it's also very common especially for spouses to collaborate on the projects that they're working on.
It's not a fucking scandal.
You're sitting in the room and your fucking wife is running some line. And you're like, that's garbage. Who wrote that?
100% that would happen in this house.
That's fucking garbage.
Yep.
Give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
100% that would happen in this house. If you were an actor and I heard fucking horrible dialogue, I'd be like, do you want me to like do a run on it? You'd be like, yes. And you can just take it to him and just say you wrote it if it's a big fucking deal.
Mm-hmm.
But and like, you know, that latter part of the hypothetical aside, every single, like, people collaborate with their friends. They're like, dude, I'm working on this script, I'm working with this movie, and I can't figure this out, or this doesn't feel right, or something. Can I run lines with you? And it happens all the time. Oh,
is somebody bashing me or something? This is interesting.
Who?
I don't know. I'm scrolling back up, so I can't tell what everybody's talking about. Oh, okay.
Are they bashing you?
No. Cosmic Urgency said, I don't like John Legend. He must be a horrible person to be married to that awful woman. Jeremy Wright said, first off, learn how to spell. Secondly, get a life.
To Cosmic Urgency? Yes. Why did you guys fight? What's going on?
No, I know. It's really funny because later on, Jeremy Wright says, Swifties are better than Trump assholes, because they're talking about how they're kind of like a cult for Swiftie.
Yeah.
For Taylor Swift. And then Cosmic Urgency says, why are you talking about Trump? And then Jeremy Wright goes, hang on a second. Oh, it bothers you? Please allow me to continue.
Oh, shit. Hey, we want to be friends around here.
Yeah, man. I know, they're cool. I think they're fine.
Good.
Are you guys fine? You better be fine.
Don't be ruffling up feathers and shit.
Meanwhile, Kindly DiCaprio's like, I love the name Jeremy. So sweet.
Yeah. It's a good name. Jeremy's a good name. I wouldn't begrudge my parents for calling me Jeremy. It took me a very long time to like Dale.
Yeah,
It's one fucking syllable.
I
It's
didn't
got
like my name either.
fucking Dale.
I
I'm
still
like,
don't like my name.
really
I think
just-
it's super weird.
I found out that it was a last minute thing, my name.
Your name is a last
They
minute
thought I
name?
was going to be a girl, so they had me named Ellen. And didn't call me Alan. Like they couldn't in their mind go, well, I guess his name is Alan instead of Ellen.
You could have been an Alan.
Yeah, that wouldn't have worked, huh?
You're not an Alan.
Alan Wheatley probably just. But anyway, they were going to call me Ellen, and then my Uncle Fred was like, call him fucking Dale. He was just standing there, and my mom in the hospital going, I don't know what to do. It's a dude.
I love that he was like, yeah, just throw out a name.
It was random.
Fine,
He was
just
like,
wrote it down.
literally, he was like visiting my mom, brother to my grandfather who had passed. So he was a
I
big
like
deal.
that story. That's a nice one. That's a good way to earn a name, you know? Some family member shouts it out and they're like, fine.
Yeah, my Uncle Fred, bro. And then he would pinch me till I cried later in life,
Oh, that sucks.
several years later.
The Junk Farm says, if the boss ever joked about HR, it's like a flashing neon sign. And no matter what my job is, I'd be checking my watch and taking notes and looking for HR stuff. It seems like bad business.
For sure. Absolutely. Yes. You are exposed in that moment. 100%. Yeah. You're asking to be sued too. Also, everyone knows you've got a billionaire behind you. So it's just like,
Oh my God,
you know,
I
you're
know.
you're creating a target. You're putting a mark on yourself.
Yeah, the guy has billionaire backing. He feels like he's like impenetrable.
Dude, I mean, we heard him in his testimony, Steve Sarowitz, say that his daughter was threatened. We later learned, if correct, that daughter was being threatened because she was going to be ransomed.
Yeah.
Potentially ransomed.
That's what they have to
You know,
do.
that's the, you know, the threat of being a billionaire is that, you know, you're a target because you're a fucking money hoarder.
Well, I'm sure they absolutely fucking revel in the persecution complex of it, right? Because they have everything else, so they have to. You know, there's that saying that, like that philosophical saying where they're talking about like man must struggle against something, and if you remove all of the things that a man could possibly struggle against, then he will struggle against that. So if like all you ever have is convenience and comfort and wealth and everything you could possibly imagine, that will be your struggle. That you will struggle against that thing because man must struggle.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing in all these fucking tech billionaires who are like, "Oh, you guys are mean to me." Like, fuck you. you're just in your head. Okay. A scientist said about Baldoni's apologies. Apologies mean, this is all in caps, by the way, but I'm not going to shout it. Apologies mean jack shit if you keep repeating the same behavior.
Well, that's true. And they're words or they're gestures, and they absolutely carry no meaning, and they actually carry no consequence either if they're not, you know, executed in good faith. Apologies can be effective. You know, it's not, you know, we can turn our cheek to them, but in reality, or turn our nose to them, I should say. But in reality, a well-executed apology is wonderful. It's very effective because there's contrition with it. Is that the word?
Contrition?
Yeah. Right? You become contrite, you know, you become like, you know, you become hyper aware of the problem. Like if I was ever
You
accused,
become a fucking professional. You know, it's crazy.
if I was ever accused, I would immediately know that I offended somebody.
But you don't have
And
to
then I would
become-
have to deal with that and figure out how to make amends to that.
Contrition isn't that because you're not trying to subjugate yourself to somebody else just because you've been accused or whatever.
Right.
What you do is you become a professional and you act maturely and you make sure nothing bad happens, right? Like, nobody can accuse you of something else. Fellbaumling said that the rewrite was done on the rooftop scene due to them aging forward the characters. Blake said in an interview that the reason she'd fall for Ryle needed to be matured a bit. This is interesting. I'm going to look into this. I want to learn more about
I don't
these
know that it
changes.
was though.
I don't think that they executed it well at all. Mr. Hands 57 is asking, is Ryan Reynolds the reason that they got rid of the pizza place? Get it?
Fucking dick. That's so funny.
Hinata said that if Taylor is going to end her friendship, it will not be because of Baldoni.
No.
No.
It will definitely not be because of Baldoni.
Delicate said, I made a comment about Swifties thinking they need to defend her regarding the dragon comment. That's what Swifties have a problem with because they think Blake used her.
Yeah, well, that's because that's how it was portrayed and to them. And, you know, and because Taylor Swift is doing the right thing and staying out of it, there's going to be a certain, you know, percentage of people who are going to be susceptible to, you know, look, I mean, you know, there are Trump supporters who are Swifties, I assure you.
Lively, Hinata said that Lively finished that comment with, Ryan Reynolds is my best friend. I participate in what he does and he in what I do. That was not scandalous. Baldoni's PR spin made it to be.
It's the same kind of scandal they're trying to make out of him yelling at Baldoni for subjecting his wife to this uncomfortable and unsafe work environment,
Yeah.
and going as far as, insulting her postpartum, and it's a very serious fucking problem. Like, people don't understand, men don't understand what women go through. And we can't possibly understand it.
It is a death and a rebirth.
Yes.
It is a total transformation.
Oh my God.
People don't need people who struggle psychologically with the transformation that becoming a mother, even if you've already done it 3 times, like it is a major journey into the underworld experience.
And postpartum depression is a serious fucking issue.
I know, and postpartum depression is probably a result of a struggle to integrate the new self that you've become. It's very fucking difficult, and people criticizing her for her outward appearance is just absolutely fucking out of fucking bounds.
Women become very conscientious of it. It's wild. It's wild, and to not be aware of it, at least to the extent that you have to be totally ignorant to it. Like, if you can't be aware that your ignorance is profound in that subject, then you're gonna make big mistakes. You're gonna say stupid things. This wardrobe nonsense. Like, of course you're gonna try to accommodate that situation.
Yeah, of course.
Like, it's just a no-brainer, man. Especially when she's like, and there was, of course, that unfortunate bit of press about, people bagging on her wardrobe from the leaked photo. And this is also like an incredibly sensitive time, because she's also dealing with ageism in this situation, because she's substantially aging up the main character from what the fans would have expected. So now she's dealing with, like, not only potentially issues and insecurities around her wardrobe and body and the way her body looks in her wardrobe.
But now she's getting criticized by a bunch of strangers.
But also about her age.
Yeah.
So, and she's, aging in Hollywood is difficult for everybody, but for a woman, it's almost, I don't even know how they go through it, frankly.
I'm going back to Hinata's comment where Lively says that Ryan Reynolds is my best friend. I participate in what he does and he in what I do. Can you imagine if somebody showed up and criticized us for collaborating?
Right.
It's just fucking weird. I just think it's really, one of my favorite hate comments that we ever got was somebody saying, "Who is this lady and why do you let her tell you what to say?"
Yeah, it was like, what is that? It's so
I
weird.
was like, "We're good, dude. Don't
worry."
Yeah,
you have not been hanging out at our live very long if you think that's what's happening. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just get a few more of these in.
Thanks.
Kiki474 said Baldoni had also been banned from the Empire Waist set and banned from participating in promotional activities with them. So there are ongoing issues, and it isn't just Lively's decisions that are affecting him.
Say that again?
Baldoni was also banned from the Empire Waist set and banned from participating in promotional activities. So maybe there's a fucking pattern here.
He was also sued twice.
Yep.
It was very interesting in that in yesterday's live when you were reading the talk about, because they talked about discrimination. And there is no discrimination in this case. So it's very fucking interesting that they said, they talked specifically about policies regarding discrimination, sexual harassment, and retaliation.
Well,
because they have that history.
Discrimination can be sex-based discrimination.
Well,
right? And then
they're
sexual
also probably,
harassment is different. And then there's sexual assault, obviously, which is different.
They're going to try to get those former cases in.
Yeah.
And I think that line of questioning was to help that at least in part.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
That is a really interesting wait and see, because if they could manage to do that, that would be really cool. One of the cool things about the
they're going to try for sure.
You remember in the Karen Reed trial where they goaded a witness to name a person who had since been barred as a witness, and then as soon as she said it, they were like cheering.
Dude, they did it in Depp v. Heard with
Johnny
Kate Moss
Depp too. Yeah, she
spilled Kate Moss, and
she mentioned his ex-girlfriends, and he was like, "Oh fuck yes, I've been wanting to bring them in.
Let's get Kate Moss in," because she had spread the rumor.
Yeah.
Or there was a rumor. I don't know if it was her that spread it. I should correct myself there. I don't know who spread the rumor, but there was a rumor that Johnny Depp had assaulted Kate Moss down the stairs or some shit. And she had heard this rumor and spoke about it.
So she got to testify that nothing like that had ever happened.
Correct.
So it's interesting if they can goad Justin Baldoni or one of his witnesses into saying Shane Norman, then they can bring in the Shane Norman lawsuit,
Well, it's going to be interesting.
Or, this Empire Waste, what is it? Claire Ayoub, maybe they can get her to testify about how he was berating her and how she got him excluded from the marketing.
Claire Ayoub is a material witness because they spoke specifically about this case.
Yes, but also she had a run-in with him where she had to complain about him and get him banned from the set and from promotional activities.
Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting how they get that in. We'll see.
It no longer will be just Lively who has a problem with him.
But they're going to get her on the stand, I would guess. They're going to want that tape introduced.
Erica said, I think they need to at least get the pattern of retaliation in.
Oh, they will.
The Junk Farm said, well, there was an age discrimination claim in this movie. And that is the HR complaint that they do have on record.
Oh, that's
crew
interesting.
member. Remember?
I didn't realize that it was an age discrimination. So thank you for that clarity. That could be it. That could be the reason entirely.
Okay, this last comment I'm going to share with you. This is about your book.
Oh, really?
Yes.
By the way, contrition, a state of feeling remorseful and was it penitent? Penitent? I don't think I've ever used penitent in my life. I don't know that I've read it.
It's the same root word as repent.
Yeah, no, I get where it comes from, but
or maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Okay. Happiness in Your Life is with us.
Happiness in my life.
Said, I watched on Plum today. It came up on my For You page, the Berlin 2001 cut.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Isn't that
fantastic?
Wonderful?
I just redid
Isn't that great?
the thumbnail. So I'm so glad. Well, I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it shows its age, and yeah, I hope you appreciated it. It was an old print of an old movie made by an old guy like me.
When you were young.
I still got it, though.
I still got it.
You know I do.
All the ladies know it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And I'm so excited about covering this with you guys because you guys contribute so much as we go along. And you really do make these lives so much more interesting. Going through this archive that I'm eventually going to get on the main channel is really a joy. And it's a joy because of the contributions you guys make constantly. You guys just make us, you put us in such interesting conversations. Mm-hmm. And I just really appreciate you and the time that you spend with us. So I just want you to know that I'm really, truly grateful. And I hope that you'll come back and join us again tomorrow.
Yep.
And for as long as we ever do this damned stuff. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your evening. You ready to go?
Yep.
Good night, Angela.
Good night.
Bye-bye, guys.